What is going on, everybody? It is episode 49 of the All About Counter-Strike podcast. As always, it's Banks and Devwalk to bring you our thoughts, our feelings, our rage, and our questions about Counter-Strike with some answers alongside of it. And this episode, let's do this because we're actually in different locations. Crazy. I've changed everything, so we'll get into that in a little bit. But it is the 3rd of February, 2026.
You're
We are
back on
already in
UK
February. The
time.
year is going fast. Yeah, I'm back in UK time. It is 22:49 for me, which means it's 23:49 for Devil in Sweden. And I am in not the UK. I am in Portugal. It does have the same time as the UK. Not sure why. Don't know how that made any sense or how they ended up with that. Poor guys. Just had to be the odd ones out like we are and have the awkward time zone. But yeah, I'm moving here for the next 3-4 months while me and my wife have the baby. New baby comes, new family member, Come to
Yeah,
Portugal
yeah.
made sense for just obviously not being in Ukraine where there's war, being where we can get electricity and all that stuff. So Portugal's a pretty awesome place to do it in. I will say this, I'm looking in front of my light. So I have this cool mini office. It's not really set up at all, anything yet. Technically set up. I mean, the internet, I'm off wireless right now. But
Yeah.
you'll never guess what. It is in front of me, just pure rain. I may as well be in London. Like, I know it's still
That's
winter
winters in
here.
Portugal.
Yeah, bro. It's like I left London to get here, and there was not as much rain here. So it says severe weather, severe coastal event warning. These conditions started at 12 on Monday. Additional alerts: moderate coastal event warnings, moderate rain warning, moderate wind warning. When I landed, I was sleeping most of the flight. The turbulence hit so hard, and in them smaller planes as well, right? Bro, it was rocky. It was rocky and
Yeah, yeah.
uncomfortable. It was not fun.
But I think the weird thing is I have two questions, but the weird thing about Portuguese weather is that it
Mm,
can change really, really quick. Like you can be out, it's a sunny day, all of a sudden along the coast and at a restaurant, and all of a sudden
yeah,
within like 10 minutes, it's just a storm coming in. So like you have to be a bit more. I guess, I mean, here in Sweden, it's just like, okay, it's gonna snow, then it's fucking
prepared.
gonna snow, you know? It's not gonna change. It's gonna be that for the entire day.
Yeah.
And then maybe overnight time, it will change something. But
Well,
there in
I now
Portugal,
know I need
everything
to
can
take
change really
rain.
quick.
I need to be with the rain jacket, bro, because like I just went out with just I call it like a body jumper, like
Yeah.
zip up jumper, no hood, no nothing. I was like, oh, it's kind of nice outside. It's not too cold. And then all of a sudden, it's torrential rain. Like I'm getting pelted with it. So I just think I've got to carry the rain jacket with me the whole time. But
Yeah,
what have you
probably.
been
I
up
have
to since
another
this last
question.
episode? Oh, you got another question? Okay,
Another
okay.
question. So the house that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
have you felt so like Portuguese houses, from my experience,
Mm-hmm.
like cold air and hot air kind of seeps through very, very like a lot in the houses.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that the same in the location that you're in?
Yeah, we got the aircon on right now, putting heat out there because it's like normally if you, I guess, how I would compare it to house that we have in UK or like the house I live in Ukraine. The insulation feels good that even if it's cold or whatever, you're not getting hit by it. It also does mean in the summer you will be warm, so like you have to open the window, but that's
Yeah.
quite easy to fix. But it's like you came here and obviously no one had been inside and it's just been empty, and the floor was dead cold. It was not comfortable. Aircon had to go on, and you're thinking, boy. But I think it must be just the way they built these houses. A lot of them are really old as well. Like inside is nice and modern, yeah.
Yeah.
But like even the stairs coming down here, there's no elevator to this place. It's in the -1 or whatever it is, and it's kind of
It'll
like
be
old architecture style.
yeah, it will be the same in the summer. I mean, obviously in the summer you don't need the same isolation if you're living in a warm country, so
Yeah,
it's probably better for the air to kind of seep through rather than close it in those circumstances. But I mean, yeah, you will see. You will see.
I will learn.
But
It's only a few months though.
yeah, but I've been playing Counter Strike, and I've been playing a lot of Counter Strike.
Yeah,
Been watching as much Counter Strike in the background as I can on my screens and on my TV. My girlfriend is not happy; she cannot watch her regular shows because the Krakow has
not
been on.
important. Yeah, there
Um,
you go.
but I've
She understands.
reached from the grind. I've gone
Mm-hmm.
up to 3.2k elo now on Face It.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. My goal that I set out, I started around 2.4.
Yeah.
Um, and the goal that I set out was 3.5, 3.6, around there. I kind of want to be on that, like, when you get the numbers that all the pro players have on Faceit,
Yeah, yeah.
where you're like top 1,000 or something. That's
Yes, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
So
where
you want to
I,
be in that lot. Okay.
yeah, I just want to get there. And I mean, I'll take an example. I know like Flatro has, I played some with Flatro as well.
Oh wait, you're not only solo queuing anymore.
98%. I'll play occasional 2 games at night or something with Flatro, or he has
Okay.
3.8 and he's number 571 on Faceit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure you can be like 3.6 ish. Um, so it's not that far away. Currently, I am ranked. Let's see here actually. I am ranked 152 in Sweden and 4,613 on Faceit.
That's a decent grind, man. That's a real decent grind. It's impressive you've done so much of it solo. Tell me this: when you're soloing, how much do you have to
Yeah.
like? Not just I guess you IGL a lot, probably, right?
The games that I can. So there's two types of games. There's games where I join the server. People are like, "Oh, they will call, make the calls." Like we will
Yeah, yeah,
listen. Um, and those games run really smoothly. I don't usually frag very well in those games, but I usually call. We have great T sides, and we can eventually close the games out.
yeah,
There are other games where you make a call, and there's one or two guys always never listening. They just do whatever they want. They just run around. They have no mics. They're running around. I just say whatever. Like, we're not gonna make any calls. Just run around. Everyone run around, and we will see what
yeah.
happens. Because you almost doom yourself if you have the group that communicates only be in a group and do the
Mm-hmm.
calls while the two silent ones run around. You're not gonna really know what's happening
It
on the
breaks the
server,
plan
on
as
the
well.
map.
You're not gonna see.
It's
Yeah.
just better to spread out, find kills, and do whatever. So it's tough, but it's definitely a mental challenge. Face it, when you get those kinds of games. So I've been, I don't know, I've been doing a lot of breathing exercises to get to this point.
Tell me now, right? As well. So you're IGLing sometimes, not IGLing the other times. But do you feel like your read for the game, especially like face it games, do you feel like you have a good understanding of how some of these type of players play? Like, do you have a good? Is it quick, easy? Because I can imagine they're not playing like a usual high level player would, right? It's this random face it. Like they can aim, they can shoot, but it's a bit brainless at times.
So I would say I can read the game well, but I don't read it in the sense of trying to read pro players level.
Hmm.
I do the same as I used to do when I was a pro in clutches. So I essentially, I I mean, this is going to be a banned word probably, but I always said that if I'm playing a player, his clutch ability is either great, good, or retarded. So based on that, you make different kinds of reads. So what I mean by that is essentially, for example, you have an eco, you're a Mirage, they are C to your T, and after 5 seconds, they on second round, their window players bought an AWP and jumps under after 5 seconds to clear it, right? That to
Yeah.
me is the dumb level, right? That's dumb.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to put yourself at the risk. But if you're playing those types of players, it's really easy to bait them to do stupid shit and punish it. Like, just say
Hmm.
like, okay, we're gonna random strafe on timing top mid or something, and you can probably get away with killing them, even on an eco round. But if they're playing smart, you kind of just have to, okay, they're playing smart. Different types of calls now compared to,
Yeah.
and then it's also like just identifying how fast they rotate is a big thing for me. So if you, for example, do A smokes, it's silent
Hmm.
on the map, and all of a sudden when you do it, there's four guys already on A. Well, why don't you just
They're
go
over
two guys
rotating
on
like
A?
crazy.
You're
Just
silent.
fake
You're
it.
staying 3B apps. Just chill. do the A
Yeah.
smokes. There are four guys on Ace, three guys contact on the B guy. So there's like read how they move on the map and how fast and how I guess how many corners do they cut?
Yeah. 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 I do find as well, by the way, that Face It is like at least what I see. I mean, let's not even just talk about my games, but even like high level playerish games, your elo and above, the over rotation is real. Like the panic calls, and they're like, unless they're playing in a group where it's like two or three of them, there's like if you know when it's like multiple solo players or just like a duo and then
Yeah.
three solos. That's when you see the panic rotation crazy, and I'm like, yeah, okay, this is an easy one for them to try and win and play around.
I will say
Um,
though, after like
mhm.
2.8, once I reached 3K, my games became, I would say, probably 50% easier to play
Okay, so
compared
you
to
got a
like
better
the
level of people.
2.7 to 2.9 ish scale. There is so many crazy people in that like elo that just ruins everyone's day. It is for me and the experience I've had, the elo
Yeah.
hell, like the range of elo hell is between 2.7 and 2.9 for me.
Okay.
Um, so so that's I think why I got such a quick jump is because I'm starting to play with people that also call, also try to organize, try to make sure that things are working, and also they're higher skilled. So it's easier for
They got
me
a
to
better
also adapt
understanding.
to them.
Yep. Yeah, 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 that makes sense. All right, we've done enough of our chit chat. So I'm gonna try and get myself a
Yep.
PC over here. I'm working on my laptop at the moment. I'm gonna try and get a PC either borrowed or rented or something like that from someone in Portugal so I can stream a bit at the same time. I'm trying to load a message that I had from here we go, it's just loading now on Instagram. Because the first thing we're gonna do is start getting at all of the recent news happening in the scene right now. And a big one. And bro, this didn't make any sense when I first saw the news was Legacy benching Lux. Now you can
Yeah.
say what you want that he was a new IGL, yeah, like he was just starting his IGL career at the beginning of last year. But the success he had with Legacy and the way he took this team to a trophy, to a second place at tier one events, yeah, not S tier events, not your biggest ones of all the elite teams there, but still CAC was a decent win, yeah. Um, Bucharest, the PGL event when they came second, almost taking Aurora down in that best of five, basically having it. That was impressive.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to Lux, I had to hit him up, right? And I want to try and understand. And he said, like, it basically became a mutual decision because it wasn't working anymore. So they couldn't
I
agree
mean,
on
I
things. They couldn't
that's
make it
kind of
work
what I
in the
suspected
same
in a
view.
sense.
Hmm.
That he kind of lost the locker room was my original thought about it. That Dumao and then the boys wanted to play a different style of CS compared to what Lux was comfortable calling,
Yeah.
um, and the clash kind of became there, and therefore they just started having worse results because the first thing you do is you try to find some middle ground when you're in that kind of
Yeah.
way, but that just makes it worse for the in-game leader,
Because
and
you're
like
you're kind of
nothing
giving
makes
up your
sense anymore.
view.
It just becomes a blend. It's kind of like when we talked about Liquid in the past when Elish uh or was it before Elish, or maybe when Elish just came in,
Hmm.
where it was like Shui calling, new coach bringing his ideas, and Elish kind of wanting to do his thing, and it looked
Yep.
really messy at first. And that's kind of the middle ground you get into when you have a disagreement on how you want to play. But I think it's sad. I think it's sad. I think Lux was not only, you know, it was his first year full time IGLing, I think.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. He's only
I
the second
think he
voice on
did
pain.
really, really well. And
Yep.
it's really tough on him to kind of get the boot so early on. I think they could have tried a little bit more. But it also depends, I don't know. It's a little bit disappointing. I thought he was a great player. I think they played a fun style to watch. I think
Yep.
all of that kind of made sense for the individuals they had. I understand it is an inconsistent way of playing,
We spoke
but
about that.
it was still it was still interesting, you know.
Yeah.
And it probably requires a little bit more work than you think to play that sort of style. You kind of need to develop new moves. You can't just reuse everything. It becomes obvious, very readable, and that's probably the kind of brick wall they've hit in this kind of period where they've even domestically kind of struggled against teams they should be winning against.
Hmm.
So yeah, and I mean, obviously, this ties into the next piece of news.
Yeah, we put it all together because this one for me, right? A lot of people are going to look at this and just think, how did Art get another chance? Why is someone picking up Art again? With what you've just said about like them not agreeing how to play, how the legacy players might want to play, Art is probably the best IGL for a Dumao and for a Lato and like what they want to do in the server.
Yeah,
You know? It's not an upgrade
I
as
think
in
so.
firepower comparing to Lux. It's not an upgrade in clutchability that Lux had spades of. It is a player to player downgrade, but it is a vision upgrade and an experience upgrade that I think can play into the pieces the legacy want. And probably, so think of me this way, right? If you're Lux, normally you want the org support and the coaches support into keeping you and keeping your vision. Yeah, that's the ideal world.
Yep.
But some players and some teams have more power than others. Demau and Lato, for example, obviously, I definitely know Demau has been, he agreed to stay on Legacy. He has this good relationship with the people that own it, you know, like he's the star player, he's the key figure. So he's probably got a lot of say in this. So
But
they probably
them
looked
two
at
are
this
the
and
ones
thought,
they're investing in.
yeah, exactly. They're the ones that they see the future with, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a long time. It has been a long time. So this is a strange move, but we won't even get to see them play at Cluj-Napoca because it's kind of crazy. They got replaced by FUT. They didn't even go. They were going to go their coach at first. So the first time we'll see them is going to be Pro League, and that's going to be on the 1st of March. So they're going to have some good time. And if I'm them, considering Pro League is going to be online in Europe and then into the LAN, just boot camp like crazy in Europe now.
Yeah.
Whole
I
team.
think I think
They're
honestly it's
grinders.
probably a great choice from them. You know, kind of stop the bleeding. They're still in this kind of rank where they can get invites. They're kind of in that BC game range right now, I think.
Why are we
Like the
calling it a BC
lower
game
the lo-
range? Why
yeah,
are we calling
but
it
they
a
are in
BC
the
game?
rankings. In the rankings I'm
Yeah.
talking, you know? They're 18th. They will probably fade away a little bit. Where's BC game? They're 24th. So they're close to each
Mhm.
other. It's about 100 points. But I think it's smart from them. I also want to add that for me, it makes sense not only playstyle wise, but it also makes sense role wise for art. Sudsin, or is it Nissim? No, Sudsin, the Auper.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Um, he is a very passive, supportive Auper. Art on a secondary op could be amazing on a double op setup, with Art being the more aggressive one, willing one to kind of put himself out there compared to the style of oping that Sadsin has. So I
Yeah.
could see that working as well, like on a personal level for Art as well. And we saw some of his, you know, oping even at the major was great. He was probably the best opper on the server, um, even though he played an anchor. But I'm
Yeah.
wondering if I don't think he's going to have the same role that he had in his old Fluxo team in this legacy. I think he's going to have a little bit more
Yeah, you can have a lot of
freedom, and we're going to see
sacrifice.
a little bit more of this old art compared to what
Okay.
we've
Which is
seen
gonna work
in
exactly in what we were
Fluxo.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be an
I think
interesting one
so.
to
I
keep an eye
think
on.
it's going to be interesting no matter what.
Yeah. I'm down for it. I was against it because I really like Lux. I don't think
Yeah,
that like I'm agreeing with you. It should have been some more time that they should have given Lux, and I really liked him. I really liked the fact that in his first year of being an IGL, he lifted a trophy, did better than Payne, and it seemed like they were all having a good time. But obviously, the mood and the chemistry and the team and in the server is so important. So it doesn't seem like there's any hard feelings. It was just like he told me directly it was a mutual decision. They couldn't get it agreed,
yeah,
and I think Lux can definitely find himself a team. And if he can have them young and buying into what he's doing and saying, then it's obviously not going to be the last we see of Lux for sure.
No, I think he's a
All
good
right,
player. So
yeah. The next one, this one I kind of like, man. Jota, on loan from Aurora, goes to Eternal Fire. If people didn't know, Jota was on Eternal Fire Academy League, or Academy team, a little long time ago in his career. Didn't ever get the call up to the main roster. Obviously joined Aurora later on throughout it, right? And now they're going to use him on loan to test who he replaces out of M Star and Calix. Let me just get your thoughts on this, Devilwalk. It's
yeah,
like, how would you feel if you're those two guys? If the team is literally like, yeah, this guy, he will replace one of you. Like what are we doing? What is this mental
I would
gymnastics we're
write.
playing?
I would write in chat before prac. I play short or I play con. Just so I have more
Oh
frags than the
no.
other guy who gets the shit rolls.
Yeah, that's it, dude.
Oh, I
I like
think
this for Jota because Jota has experience in international teams, yeah, not just Turkish teams. He's gonna be linking up with Demka, Rigon, Waro, and then obviously M Star and Calix being the other ones from Eternal Fire. Personally, both M Star and Calix are a bit on the more mature side. I'm not going to call them old; they're only 27, but Calix has the more experience. Probably is the one that end up staying, and M Star will be the one that replaced. That's how I see this working out. You know, but obviously, Eternal's Fire goals now is like bigger and better on an international scene. I'll just say, I don't know who's going to keep the team in check of tilting and raging and whatever else is going on. Because Jota, he can get loud and hype, but he's a pretty calm guy. And then you've got Waro. We know what he's been through. We understand what our Rigon will be like, if his head goes down. Demka's going to have to be cracking jokes every day. He's just going to have to be the funny guy. Doesn't it on paper look wild?
yeah,
You're like, it's hard to see this
it is a
working.
wild team. It's a very wild team. I mean, I wish them the best. I'm not sure they're gonna be.
Political answer now from Devil Walk.
Yeah, I don't know. I can foresee a lot of raging in this team. And I mean, to
That's what
be
I'm saying.
fair, any Voro team is a raging team, first of all. But Regon, he
Mm.
can rage as well. I know that he was on the later period when I was coaching him. He actually became really good with that and had tuned it down a lot. So I was really proud of him for. But I could see maybe, there's a chain reaction of people tilting. Turkish people, maybe also known for tilting a little bit or being hot headed at least. A bit fiery
I
in their
think Calix
spirit.
and Jota have to keep that so calm. They have to keep
Yeah.
it so chill for everyone else because, yeah, like I understand what Eternal Fire is trying to do. They're trying to maximize their opportunity to grow as a team and get up there. But it's like the way you've assembled this team is kind of out there, man. It's really out there. And Warrior's gonna have to find a way to beat all the accusations of being a rager and like demanding too much and stuff. Like he has to be a completely different player than what we've seen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to follow.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him across him. After this one, I knew about this stuff from years ago anyway, but it's nice to get some clarification on it. So there was a Danish podcast that's called Boot Camp, and Config went on it, and he revealed about his monthly salary while part of Astralis. He said it was like $28,000 to $30,000 on complexity, and he shared a story that he originally agreed 15,000 under complexity, and then he found out that Blame F was on twice of that, which prompted him to get more money. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is an interesting take because I will say this: there was times where some obviously complexity were trying to get players to join them. Yeah. They
Yeah.
were trying to attract the best players to be the juggernaut, to be the winning team, to be title contenders. The money they did throw at players was way over their value. Like even though Blame F was good back then, he wasn't worth 30K a month. And we still have a problem of this where like some players now, because I think Play GG put out some article about like different salaries and predicted salary ranges. There's a lot of players that are on salaries that are not sustainable. Like this is this is not something that it's almost like Mickey Mouse money. We're not like esports isn't there.
Yeah.
It isn't there at all. And not everyone's a Vitality, not everyone's a Falcons, you know. I'm talking about other teams in it. And I do like that if some of these numbers I would say are more accurate from the knowledge I have. Um, that some orgs are playing it very smart and well, but it means it's hard to attract the players maybe you want sometimes. Where people say, "Oh, they should get this player." Well, this player thinks he should be on this money because matey boy over there is on crazy money. You know, my friend's earning this.
No, I agree. I mean, even Stoico, I read he wrote a tweet about it as well, where he
Oh, Stiga
said,
loves telling
"While I
people salaries.
yeah, while I can't confirm the exact numbers, I know a lot of players went to
Hmm.
orgs around 2019, 2020 to renegotiate for salary increases because of this blame F benchmark. Somehow it got
Yeah.
leaked how much he was making, and everyone felt like, I could earn more." And while it wasn't the only reason, it definitely inflated the market for quite some time.
Yes.
Fair play for Blame
Yes.
F for getting the bag.
Yeah, no, like if you can do it and someone's going to pay you it, cool. But also, you
Yeah,
have to then be willing to take a massive step down when a better offer comes for you from like a success point. And this is what I think is the difference between good players and great players in terms of how they manage their career. Because I know some players have taken a career, not a cut, but it's like a, like a lateral move, you know?
yeah.
So they've just stayed same salary, but they've joined a real S tier team. So it's like this. You think of this. I'm just going to give. This is no real example, but just say Vitality come to you, and you're playing for Alliance. Yeah, but Vitality say you can join us, but you have to keep your Alliance salary. Yeah, you have to prove yourself on that. Any player who doesn't get too into their own heads or too ego would say, "Yeah, like, this is a good move for me. I just make that move anyway." You try and work
Yeah.
something out good in the contract or whatever for the future, for the next years and how it works out. But there are players who'd be like, I know some of these players, they'll be like, no, I'm not taking that offer. It's too low. I'm worth more than that, you know? And that's where the ego gets a bit crazy. That's where their understanding of
I
their
mean,
own value gets crazy. And they're looking at numbers, not career success.
it's kind of a two-pronged thing because especially if you're a young talent, I
Hmm.
think most people that has had an esports career has gone for that very very low salary to start with just to get into the big orgs, to play the big games, to get more known, etc. In that
Yeah.
sense, it's a good move ish, but obviously you're worth more at that point. That's why they want you in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's scary to be the player getting that offer and being the one saying, I want more.
Hmm.
Like, it's scary to be in a position like, I really want this deal, and be the one to say, no, this is not fair. I want more. And them being
Yeah.
like, because they don't reveal, in these conversations, they don't say, we just want you. They're looking
Yeah.
at,
Yeah. Yeah. They
they
are.
always say this fucking broad statement where it's like, we're looking at several different options and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just want to kind of confirm with you what you would be willing to go for.
But it's also, if you have a good agent, right? That's also a fact. I always say this. There are a lot
Yeah.
of agents who are useless. There are a lot of agents who are lazy, but there are a few agents that are good and capable. Um, and it's about finding out because there are some agents I would say that I hear the same waffle or bullshit for the past 5 years, and they haven't made on that promise, you know? Like they've told them, I'm going to do this, this, and this for you. And then they're unhappy at the end of it because they don't get what they need. It's not about getting them on the right team, but it's about over promising and under delivering. Yeah. But what you should do is under deliver. No, you should
Under
under
promise,
promise
over
and over
deliver.
deliver. That's the one. That's the one I meant, you know? That's how it should be done. Or you should just be fair
Yeah.
and straight with what the options are and the opportunities are, because you can't just go out there and get the biggest salary and the biggest gig and the big name teams looking. But I think for some players now, well, look at this. Flamesy was a genius. Flamesy left OG and left OG out of contract. So he went with no
Yeah.
cost to Vitality and they just paid him a salary. And I'm sure he would have got a bump up from that and probably extra because of the situation. They didn't have to pay anything. But like him and Messi are not the names like Rops, for example. Yeah.
No.
So your Rops and Zai will get in whatever they're getting. And then your Mezzi and your Flamesy, they're going to get the trophies. They're going to learn. They're going to get a lot of experience from this. But I'm sure their starting salary isn't what the salary they're on now is. I don't know. By the way, I have no factual information, but I mean, there's got to be some tier up on this based on this and results and bonuses and
Usually,
achievements.
orgs today have a achievement progressive salary. Like there is some even in the lower tiers, it would be something like this is X salary. If you reach
Hmm.
this kind of ranking, if you win a tournament, qualify for this, which is important for the org, you get a salary bump. So it's like a give and take, and that's
Okay.
usually in most contracts. And it's also one of the things that I've always advocated for every single time that I've been a coach for a team
Yeah.
is that I've always said like we can start lower, but as long as we have an achievement based process and it's
Hmm.
reachable, it's something that we all can be fine with. Like I think that's better in
It's
both
motivation.
for the team and like healthier for the team, not to sit on
Yeah.
big salaries, not achieve anything, and just slump downwards because you're living a good life, in some sense. Um,
Yeah.
but still have goals to reach. Okay, we need to really put our minds in because in 2 months we can do this for a contract. We can get a salary
Yeah.
bump. So let's go for this. It's easy as a coach as well to have that as a carrot or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's
Yeah.
called in
It's
English,
just
but
the
we say it.
carrot on a
We say
stick
carrot in
motivation.
in Swedish. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I know. I got you fully. I got you fully. All right. And the last bit of news, and this is just getting wild now. Virtus Pro, you know, like this is if you this org is so screwed, man. I'm laughing not at the
They have the
players,
perfect
but
picture
just
as
the
well.
yeah, just the karma. So Virtus Pro exit local Russian LAN in last place. Bro, they lost to WW and Rustech. I don't know who either of those teams are. Rustech is
Never heard
ranked
them.
200. WW's got Deco on, yeah, or Deco,
Rustec
whatever you want to call him.
definitely sounds like an evil organization based in Russia.
For real. It has Super on though. We know Super from where do we know Super from? I think it's from Gambit Youngsters a
Supra
long time
hot.
ago.
It's Supra from Gambit Youngsters, man.
Yeah, there you go. So he's there, But I mean,
He's bumped
it's
cigarettes of
it's
me several times.
of course. But this is a LAN, bro. This isn't some online excuse. This isn't a best of one. This is best of three LANs where you like just let's look at the players that are on this team, right? You've got Perfecto, you've got see, I can't remember who's on the roster anymore. Flit Fame, yeah. You've
Bist
got
and
Toro,
Toro.
who obviously comes from the academy team, and Bist as well. Now, if you didn't think that was bad enough, the first rumors that were said, which by the way, I actually kind of agreed with. It was like bench the whole team, pick up another team within the top 20. I thought if you're VP, you're a prestigious organization in Counter Strike by name value. Yeah, it's been there since I was playing CS in 2003. VP is a long standing name of the game. They have quietly fumbled every good player that's come through their doors. They lost James, they lost Dastan, they lost Yakinda. Like even Kicker was at the major with MIBR over VP.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the fall off has to be studied. The karma is hitting them so hard. Like they made a problem with getting electronic, yeah, having his IGL, James going out. Flit and Fame are just slowly fading into non like, I don't like they can't carry games. They can't work within these systems.
But they also
And
have a rookie
Perfecto,
IGL. Yes, Perfecto is like
yeah,
very experienced, but he's a
experienced.
rookie IGL. They've like made
Yeah,
so
but then
many
you give him two
gambles
rookies
in
as
this
well.
squad. It's
Two
so many
rookies from an
gambles.
academy team and Perfecto. You know, when I said this on this podcast, when they picked up the first Academy League player, I said that is the first Academy League player who ever got a promotion from VP Prodigy since like 2000. Yeah? No, 2020. There you go. I was
Yeah.
going way too far back. So, first time ever. But then doing two of them, it's such a stretch. But what that says to me is money's running out. They paid a lot of money for Electronic. They paid a lot of money for Effecto. They're trying to make all these things work and then it all goes to shit.
Yeah,
It's like it's so bad for VP. You're not at majors. You're not at big events anymore. Like, where are they ranked in the world right now? Where is VP?
they're 88th in VRS. They also have a coach named
Dude,
Problem.
88.
That's
He is the problem. No, I don't know. I don't know
it's
problem for
no, he's
problem.
not the problem,
If you
but
ever see this, I
it's
don't know
just
you.
funny that his name is Problem. It just
Yeah.
says like, we see these results. We scroll down. We see a coach Problem.
If you're him, yeah, and you're thinking of this nickname, you want to be a coach, maybe you change your nickname to Problem Solver,
Yeah,
not Problem. Yeah, you don't want a coach called Problem. No, do you know what? We laughed at them when they messed up on the visas. We thought that was a huge mistake, yeah. And then we joked about like all the changes they're going through. But this is the very lowest you can go. And now the rumors, by the way, I saw it. Did we write it in? It is rumored now that Fame and Perfecto are going to be benched. So just roll with me here. Maybe I could understand Perfecto because new IGL, rookie IGL. Yes, he's experienced stuff, but it's not working out. Maybe they're agreeing that this isn't fine. But Fame as well is like a legacy player. You won the major with him and Flit. Like, I didn't expect that. And so if you're going to bench two players, you just buy a core now. You have to buy a core.
yeah,
But this
but
doesn't
who?
make sense. Well, okay. I don't know
It's
which core
way
they
too
can
late in the
buy.
season. Like, I'm looking at
Okay, let's
this,
look.
and
Let's
what
look.
can you?
I'm
You
trying.
can't buy any of these.
We need to find a regional
Gamer
rankings.
Legion. There you go.
No, we can't keep selling Game Legion. Okay. We're gonna do VRS Europe, yeah? And they need a team with like a Russian core. Now let's just laugh and joke. Imagine they tried to buy Paravision. By the way, not gonna happen. Like that's
Not gonna
not
happen.
possible. Um okay. Does BC Game get a few more games in? Keep electronic simple and muterist and then take two from VP and they become, I don't know. No. Namiga? 29th in the ranking? Could that work? I'm
I
really
mean,
like
still, it's
that's the
still not
closest
gonna.
chance.
It's not gonna solve any of your issues. It's rank. It's
Well then
rank
they're screwed.
41 in the world, 29th in Europe.
Yeah, they kind of screwed them.
Like,
Dude, they're so cooked. They're so
there's
cooked.
nothing they.
I'm laughing, but I do feel a bit bad, you know? I do feel a bit bad.
Yeah, but they made their own bed, so it is
Yeah.
what it
Now they
is.
gotta lay in it. That's what we say. You made your bed, now you lay in it, son. You have to deal with that.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about I'm gonna just go through Krakow now, or
Yep.
Krakow, whatever you want to call it. Stage one, stage two. Stage one, I watched so much. I watched nearly all games. Stage two, you're gonna have to carry me because I was traveling. I was moving. I wasn't so much in it and seeing games. First team I want to start with here, mate. And because there's so many teams here, we're not going to give it our usual full spill. We are going to have to run through a little bit faster on some of it.
Okay.
Bait. Bait was obviously trying
Terrible.
something new with their. Yes, that factually they were terrible. But we were looking at the new young player coming in. I'd heard nothing negative about Segukawa, as I said. Yeah. I just heard talented player from Ukraine that can AWP. Dude, he wasn't the problem in this. But guess what? It is a problem when you throw a rookie 16-year-old into Krakow, which is basically Katowice, with not even all the elite teams, but all the pressure and all the cameras and everything. He didn't get a dry run into anything. He went from playing no HLTV into 5 maps at Krakow, getting dumpstered on, getting beaten by
And
NRG,
fired.
and then and then they kicked him, man. Like, what? And by the way, so we can wrap this all into one. Bait get Sizzy. Now, the thing what crazy about this, and I need to, no one's told me, so I don't know understand what's happening here, but they get him on loan from Spirit Academy. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, this was Sizzy, who I said on this podcast was rumored to be joining before Segukawa, and then it happened. So something changed. And then obviously, maybe it went so badly with Segukawa, which it's not you. I'm not blaming this young 16-year-old kid, but it obviously went so badly that someone at Bait said, whatever Spirit asked for, whatever money, we're doing it. Like, just give us this boy. Like, we need to make this happen. Because now this
But
makes sense.
but at the same time, what the fuck did they expect? Like, like it's too big of a jump from having
Yeah.
zero HLTV games to all of a sudden playing some of the best teams in the world. It's not a matter of skill at that point. It's mental.
Mhm.
Like you need to kind of take the steps. I mean, I remember myself the first time I got streamed, I fucking shat my pants. I had the worst game ever. My hands, I couldn't aim, I couldn't do anything. And
That
you
was
get to that
online.
point because it's just, yeah, but you take that step and now I've
Yeah.
played a streamed game and it goes well the next time, but they didn't even give it a chance for him to kind of catch his footing a little bit and go into the next tournament and
Yep.
see, okay, did we have something here? They just said, no, you're not good enough. You don't have it. And then, moved on to the next guy. That's what I don't understand. If they were actually betting on a person to be
Mhm.
better and to be the one that they thought would, be replacing Hetrick in this team, then why the fuck aren't you really giving them a shot at it? It's like they throw them into the deep water and they're asking him, can he swim? Like, and they don't know it before. They've never seen
Yeah.
him in water. They just throw him out there in like the fucking Atlantic and say like, swim home. Let's see what you got.
Yeah. Yeah. And dude,
It
you know
does
what
not
this
make
is?
sense.
People are gonna think like I'll just defend bait because it's a Ukrainian team. Nah, man. Like whoever's made this decisions, you effed up so badly. Like they lost to Pain, which is not too bad, right? You could lose to Pain, even though it's Pain with two new players. But you also lost to NRG. It is going to hurt your VRS ranking a bit. You're 15th right now, but it's like this is not going to have positive results for you because this is on LAM, and you change the player to do it. Yeah. And then on
Yep.
top of that, I already complained when they did Hedrick so dirty by dumping him after all the transfers had happened, so he couldn't get a new team for the season. Like he sat there with no team, no chance, no opportunity because it was all done last minute. So you behave badly to Hedrick, you just behave badly to this 16-year-old. You dragged another 16-year-old in, and maybe Sizzy's even now in his head thinking, you know what? If I play one bad tournament early on, I'm getting the same treatment. That's not positive for you as an organization.
But what is it called? It's like this effect of like when you think you're too big for what you are. You like some kind of madness, like grandeur madness, whatever.
I know what you mean.
Like it feels a little bit like that because they just with hat trick reached their best possible placing in the
Yeah.
rankings, and now they're like, okay, now we're going for number one. Like what?
Jumping the
Like what is
gun.
happening? It's
Yeah.
it's too quick, Like they bet all in on green all of a sudden, and it just didn't work out.
They went from almost making it to playoffs of a major, playing Navi quite close on one of those maps. I think it might have been
But they
Train.
were
I just
like
off the top of
rank
my head.
11, 12 or something. Like
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Like for the rest of the year, and they just throw it all away.
And yeah, then now they're in this bad spot. We'll have to see what Sizzy can do, but I hope they give him a nicer way in because it wasn't nice for Segukawa. I said we don't want to spend too much time on this, so we need to try and go through these teams as well.
Yeah.
Passion UA quickly because Passion UA was a team I was really enjoying. Yeah. Losing to G2, it's not too bad. Should have been able to win against NIP. I feel like they should have had that win against NIP. They're now going 0-2. They went out last place at Blast Bounty as well. This is where now I start to have more concerns about what they can do because if you remember, they introduced Mirage to their map pool for Blast Rivals Hong Kong. I saw
Yep.
some positives. I saw what we could do. The major was positive, almost making playoffs as well. Like there's all these things that were right on the cusp of it. And then they've come back into the start of this year and it's not, I'm not seeing the same team. I am not seeing the same team.
But to be fair, this is also against what I considered to be probably one of the worst NIPs so far that I've seen in the past year. Like
Yeah.
they look actually quite rusty, quite bad at times. It doesn't look like they have the same oomph, like
Yeah.
punching power as they're playing. And I don't think that's Cairn's fault or anything. I think it's just like
No.
they haven't really gotten all the pieces together yet. It could be something that maybe one like Karen doesn't know all the strats, so it feels like Snappy feels limited in his calling, etc. There could be many
Yeah.
things, but it's definitely not the hottest looking NIP that Passions was losing to.
Well, let's just transfer straight into NIP then, because
Yeah,
NIP, we were getting more positive about them at the end of last year. They bring Ken in now, yeah. We thought it would start off more positively. Even that game against Liquid, when it was the full roster of Liquid at Blast Bounty, showed
yeah.
me positive signs. But like their nuke has fallen off, yeah. They lost to Liquid 2-0. This was Liquid with Crimbo as a stand-in, by the way. They just about beat Passion, and then they lose to BC Game. Now, people can say it's BC Game was simple, but I mean, I was putting NIP into this bracket of you could break into that top 15, top 10 of the world potential for VRS. And right now, that's not it. I'm not seeing it. And I
I
don't
don't
think
care if
one
Simple
player
is on the
changes it that
lineup.
much.
BC Game is a much worse team, or should be a much worse team
Yeah.
than this NIP team. It does not, just because you have Simple all of a sudden put you ahead. I think this is a almost an embarrassing loss for them in the qualification stage. They should have qualified. That's it. I
Yeah.
mean, great on BC Game. Simple Electronic had a smashing game, but as you say, Nuke, it's not great. I mean, the Nuke T side was actually fine. It's something that I normally feel like NIP can kind of fumble at times.
Hmm.
As their like main map feels very like, I don't know. It's maybe it's, yes, sometimes easy to read. That they like to go for early, like inner pops, a lot of that stuff, a lot of like grouped up kind of plays and kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, mash their way into bomb sites with good utility and executes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that sort of calling can fall way short. Um, but they did get 6 rounds on the board on T side, but only posted 3 on the CT, which is very, very concerning
Yeah.
against what I thought was a quite, let's use the right word here for BC game, messy BC game at times.
Yeah. Messy, uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Frustrated. Yeah, we'll get into them in a little bit. We'll touch on them probably more towards the next stage. We're doing our first
But
sets.
disappointing from NIP. I'm
Yeah.
at a point where I'm not. They're not my betting horse anymore.
No, no. I'm so as I said, I thought this year there'd be like a top 15 to top 10 team grinding their way up, even after the Cairn edition. But now they're in the worrying part because you
Yeah,
got the opportunities you wanted that you worked so hard for in BRS. They wanted this so much. They were grinding, they were pushing every interview, BRS, we're working our way through, we're going to these lands, blah blah. And then you get the chance to hit the big leagues and you don't hit at all. And so that's a red flag for me. That's a big red flag for me. Um, Got to touch on Legacy, but just very quickly because Legacy in the end, now we know obviously what happened. At the
yeah,
time, because we didn't know what was going on, this looked really bad. Losing 2-0 to BC Game and the way they did on that overpass, when you had a 10-2 lead and then you fumble it and then you get 13-1 on the last map. And then they lose to FUT. Now, FUT's a really good team. FUT's my team of like what you were describing Nip as. FUT's the team
yeah.
I see like going really far this year. They're like having some success. I don't mean trophy lifting or something like that, but like this is a team that can break into putting themselves in a good position if they can keep this lineup together. Um, but I just looked at this legacy and thought, oh, okay, that's another bad result. Like, this is not looking good. So, but now we understand everything. Also don't
I
need
mean,
to touch on heroic.
it kind of looks like the actual argument started on this overpass and kind of transpired through
Disagreements
Inferno
in the
in
map.
this BC game, and then it was like, let's drop it. Let's have a last ditch attempt to solve this and play our game. We know we can do it. They go into foot, get a little bit stomped as well, and
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
fuck this, man.
Nope. Doesn't happen like that. Didn't work. Didn't work at all.
Yeah.
Heroic, we won't touch on because it was obviously again with youngster, no Alcarin in there, so not much to say on them really. Pain is not the same pain as what we know and love. Still, I didn't catch what game did I see of theirs? I saw the Astralis game and I saw the Bait game. I didn't see the Aurora game. But my thing for here is that Snow has these good roles and positions, still not in a great spot. The mood is supposed to be better, but it's not clicking right now. And I thought,
I,
okay, it's
I
only
I
been two
still
events.
think I still think they look better. They are just in a position where they're gonna need a bunch more time. Like they're gonna
How much
need
time do you
at
give them?
least an. I would say if we look at the results wise, they lost
Hmm.
to Astralis. I think Astralis looked good, so I
Yep.
wouldn't, like fault them too much about this loss. I wouldn't fault them too much about a loss against Aurora. I think these two teams are just a little bit too early on for them to be
Hmm.
beating. They still made it at least competitive against Astralis and not at all against Aurora.
Yeah.
Um, but beating Fate's fine, but I'll give them 2 months. 2 months.
Okay. 2 more months. So basically just up until the major.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Game Legion. I feel like I was just over positive at Blast Bounty because they beat Passion, they beat Aurora. Then they lose in this CCT event. Yeah. They lose to a team called Betem, I'd never heard of. They lose to Aurora when it's on LAN. They beat Heroic, which has a stand in. Then they lose to Astralis. Like, I'd never questioned last year PR's performance and how he was playing, but now I'm starting to worry about him coming undone without Ash there, without ZTR, without having this comfort of how it was before. Just because of what he said to me in those interviews he did during Blast, where he was like, "Yeah, I got to get comfy again, got to get used to the IGL." Like, yeah, there's a lot of change that's gone around you, but you're so young and talented. Like, you are so individually, mechanically skilled.
Yeah.
um, there was rumors of obviously him going to Mal's. There was rumors of other teams being interested in him. Like, he is a hot prospect. He needs to now like show up, especially in some of these games where you're playing not as good teams.
No, I agree. I think Gamer Legion for me is a little bit hot and cold. Like they can
Yeah,
have really, really good games and look sharp. Like the calling is on par. Their individuals are shining, and then all of a sudden it feels like they can never really get going. And that's kind of what I saw this tournament. You can look at the Astralis game; they never really got going. They got absolutely demolished. You look at the Aurora one, same thing there. And
yeah.
then obviously Heroic, they were the ones that were hot all of a sudden. With that's the I think PR. Let's look at it. He had a 0.31 rating in the opening game against Aurora.
It was that
And then he
bad.
had,
I know he played
yeah,
bad, but I didn't know. I didn't look at the rating.
yeah,
Zero what 0.31.
yes.
Wow.
I can give you the full
That must
statistics
be his
if you
whole
like.
worst that like
That's probably his worst ever. He
ever.
has 8
Wow.
33 in two maps. So one map 416, the other map 417.
I don't know if they have
On
a mental
Dust,
coach, you know.
on Dust 2, he had a minus 15.72% swing.
God damn. He must have been going for everything and just dying. Mm,
That
mm.
is incredible. Either way, we're
Incredibly
not gonna.
bad.
He is a good player. Obviously, at a real shit map.
Yeah.
But it's just I feel like the game that they won, he played really well in. He had a 130 rating.
Okay.
Um,
So he is the one that needs to do well. Like that's what I said. It's him and Rez, especially as Hypex is now performing well. I'm still loving what I'm seeing from Hypex. I
yeah,
can't come away
Hypex
from
is
that.
good, man. I think he's good.
They finally got an AWP they can use, and now the other pieces are crumbling. Like, what the hell is going on, man?
Yeah, and then against Astralis, right, a 0.60 rating again. But it's the weird thing is you have these games where you have a little bit of a period.
Hmm.
You're bad, you're bad, you're bad, and then I'm starting to get good again. And there's a line of consistency, but here's just bad, good, bad. Um,
Yeah. So it's just up and down the whole time.
Yeah, which kind of correlates with what I was saying with
Yeah.
how Gamer Legion. Maybe it's even up to PR that his performances are a little bit inconsistent right now. He's not in the right
Yep.
headspace, and the team kind of suffers for it in some regard.
Yeah. Last team to touch on is Liquid. Obviously, they had Crimbo standing in. I'll just say this: this was a great showing for Crimbo as an individual about what
Yep.
he can offer. He does end with a 0.96 overall rating for the whole event. Yeah, but I mean, you come in last minute, you have an absolute monstrous game against NIP. You play close against G2. You lost to Foot, but obviously I keep praising Foot. You know, I
Yep.
would just say that this was the best of a bad situation. It's obviously a family emergency, something super bad for NAF. And this saved them just going out last place, losing a bunch of points and looking weak, you know? Cribbo came
Yeah.
in, did his job to help, and made the best of a really bad situation. So I'm fine with this, you know?
I think honestly they were probably a little bit unlucky they had to play Foot. I think they probably
Yeah.
could have in most other matchups had, qualified.
Favorable or even. Yeah.
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 I think
Yeah, I'd
just
agree with that.
Foot is on a different like they're on this like newbie start level way
Hmm.
up here. They've grinded like 300 more faced games than everyone else before the start of the year
Yeah.
and season. It just feels like their individuals are a little bit more hot right now.
And then we get into stage two. So we said the teams that would make it through, yeah, from stage one. We got our list up. So
Yeah.
you said teams that would go
Wow.
through.
We had initial
You said,
matchups as well,
we had initial matchups as well. Okay, initial
which
matchups.
didn't go well.
I only got three correct, and so did you.
Yeah, we're
You predicted
worse than
Aurora.
flipping a coin, man.
Yeah, you would have just been better not listening to our predictions on opening games. So the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
games you got right was G2 Passion, choosing G2, Astralis Pain, choosing Astralis for me, Paravision Heroic, which we both got, and you picked Aurora over Gamer Legion, which I probably should have done thinking about it. We both picked FUT, who started off losing to 3D Max. 3D Max came out looking better than they did, but we'll touch on them later on.
Yeah.
Teams to go through, we did better though. Yeah, this is more
Well,
positive.
it was a little bit of a clown fiesta because in the video, Banks says 9 teams and I say 7. So I just picked Pain
How did
because
we count on our fingers
I
on
just
video and
after
still fuck
after
this
the
up?
fact when I knew Pain was relegated, I picked
Yeah.
Pain as my eighth to not just get a free point. I just want to clarify that.
Mm,
It's
we,
true though.
if I check with our producer, I don't think that's going to work the same way because he didn't let me make any
Yes,
changes to my
I
one.
was literally picking it with him.
I don't
Either
hear him
way,
right now. He's not telling me anything.
that's the official answer I
Yeah.
have on the situation.
So
But
we said Bait would go through, G2 would go through. I said Pain, you said Pain. You said Legacy. Both said Paravision. Both said Nip. We both said Foot. We both said Aurora, and I did say BC game will go through. I called the BC game going through. So that's where I got my little extra win over you.
absolute
So I got.
bullshit.
What do you mean, absolute? Why?
I'm just saying it. Let me comment.
No, but I mean,
You
I
continue.
believed
I'm
in my
just
boy
gonna
Simple. I
I'm just
believed in my
gonna
boy Simple.
slide in some comments.
You're just throwing daggers at me
Yeah,
through the screen, through the camera, trying to get me, man. Oh my god. All
but
right.
yes. Uh,
So
and I picked Pain
then,
there.
yeah, and then you pick Payton. So in terms of teams going through, we wouldn't do too badly. Big surprises was NRG and 3D Max going through. I think they were
Dude,
big
the
surprises.
worst thing is, when we recorded that video,
Mm.
a day after, I played a Face It game with Nitro, OC, and Bro.
Well, they were in your Elo lobby.
We were in the same team,
Oh, you were playing with
and
them.
yes,
Did they know who you are? Like, because the young, well, I guess Nitro would, but the
yeah,
young
yeah,
ones
yeah,
probably
yeah.
not.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like we had a normal conversation. We just like, sup, man? It's like everything good. and then we just played.
Yeah, yeah.
But either way, they were looking fucking good. We were
They were
playing
sharp.
CT side on Mirage. I'm playing
Mm.
fucking B apps. They're just running around the map doing different shit all the time. We're playing, and I'll tell you, we're playing Tenir, Sun Pios, and Nerds on the other team.
What lobbies are you, bro?
And we fucking, I think we 12-0'd CT side on
Oh,
Mirage. Like OC
oh.
was hitting bangers, bro. His aim was so crisp. And
OC
Nitro
to liquid.
aggressive
OC
moves
to
after
liquid.
like it they looked really good. Like I was like shocked how crisp everything was from them. So if I've had that game, I would have actually praised them a little bit because their individual level,
Okay.
even though it's a face it game, you can still
Yeah, yeah,
on
you
a
can
little bit of
see.
eye test see how good
Mm-hmm.
these individuals were, and they looked really good, and especially on Mirage.
Clearly, Unk, in you are the Unk. You still got it as well. You're rolling around these lobbies just casually right now, dropping names on the
Yeah.
podcast like, oh, Tania, some bias, OC, Nitro. Like,
I think we won like 12-3 or something like, or 13-3,
that's a
something like
decent
that.
lobby, man. That's a
Yeah.
decent lobby. Oh, that's good. So yeah, look, we'll talk about the teams that went through later, but NRG, G2, 3D Max, Paravision, FUT, Astralis, Aurora, BC Game, they went through, right?
Yeah.
BC Game seemed to be a surprise for a lot of people, but they did make it work, and we'll touch on all their results when we come into the later bit. But we need to start off stage 2. Now, I want to say this for everyone at home. I already openly admitted I was moving to Portugal, I was doing my visa stuff, and I'm getting ready for like baby coming. So I didn't watch all the games from stage 2. I wasn't at home, I didn't have that time. But even if you are like us who love Counter-Strike and you're trying to watch as much as possible, when there's 2 streams running, even if you've got multiple monitors, like you could sometimes I stream and watch a game on the other side, but I still want to watch 2 games. There is so much with this schedule and format that is hard, bro. It's hard for people who love the game to keep track of it. Like I was looking at matches and trying to choose based on like who I think will be give the most exciting game.
Yeah, but it's like even tonight we're looking at, it was Mouse Falcons
Yeah.
and Aurora Vitality at the same time, and you're just
So I
like, what
skipped
the
Aurora
fuck am I?
Vitality just because it
I
was it's
had
just a
one game up
qualifier.
on the TV here and one on my
Mhm.
phone next to my PC.
Yeah.
Like it was really hard to kind of follow what game. I literally watched on my phone like this, and then like, okay, it's pause here.
You hear something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude,
And
I chose, you know, the games that were like qualified to semis. I chose to not watch them and then watch the like
okay.
elimination games because that was more meaningful. But as soon as the Vitality game, for example, got to overtime on Ancient, I had to tune in and watch that, you know. But I am just watching one device going and doing it that way. But yeah, it's tough on these schedules. If you're not working the event and you're trying to follow it and you're doing anything else, it's difficult. So I don't know what like casual fans are doing. Like you guys in the comments, let me know how many of these games were you watching? Like, were you just choosing your favorite teams or just when you could around your schedule? Like, how does it work for you? Let us know. Give us the information. Um, but let's now look at our stage 2 results. And dude,
I noticed
I'm
one is wrong here.
is it?
Yeah, I will.
You gonna fix it?
The Furia versus Foot.
Oh
Furia
yeah,
did
that
not
was
win that
Footwin.
game,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's a
That's
red for
fine.
both.
So yeah, we do our initial predictions. We always give you our thoughts on the matches that are coming up. So for stage 2 opening games, Mongols versus G2. We both said G2 win. Navi versus
Yeah,
Paravision. You said Paravision. I said Navi, of course. Navi won. Crazy
Navi,
game
of
though.
course. Like it was some easy slaughter from Navi.
Yeah, you know, I'm just in my head. I only saw headshots from Bit, great plays from Makazi, amazing calls and smiles from Blade. Watching the actual game and going through it was like mentally disturbing me. But you know, that's the reality compared to my fiction
Isn't this
that's
the
only in my
game
head.
that this like Blade clip came on Reddit where he literally like
In
screaming in
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian to
Yeah,
Alexi B, I
yeah,
think? Like,
yeah.
how can you play default the whole fucking game or something like this?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I'm
frustration
paraphrasing.
gets
He
to you.
did not say those exact words, but something along those
Something to
lines.
that. Yeah, something to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, then we had Furia Foot. We both said Furia. Foot won.
Yep,
Keep praising them. I continue to praise them. Spirit
they look
Astralis, we
great.
said Spirit was Spirit. Vitality BC game, Vitality. Now I was on the phase hype. I'll come on the phase later, but I'm not on the phase hype anymore. 3D Max beat phase. You got it right. I got it wrong. We both said Mouse would win. They did. We both said Falcons would beat Aurora. We were both wrong. Completely wrong. Um, but the first team I want to start with, mate, is I really was harsh on the Mongols of what I expected them to do in the Budapest Major when they had not Cobra Zero. What was his name? How have I forgotten it already?
Controllers.
Controllers. I'm so sorry, controllers. When they had a controllers, Blitz was telling us, Mazzino was telling us, he was saying, why do people think we're going to be bad just because of this? And we're all thinking, like, Senzu's so good, this is why. So then I thought, okay, now you're getting Cobra Zero, the guy you wanted. This is going to be better. This is going to be great. You've had time to get ready for it. They get beaten by G2. Obviously, we both predicted that. Fury had obviously lost their opening game against Foot. It's the way they lost to G2, by the way. Like, ancient scoreline, okay. But you got dumpstered on Dust 2. Like, you didn't stand a chance. And it didn't look like the Mongols we know and love. And then the Furia game, there was a battle here. There was a fight here. It could have been 2-0. It comes really close. But it's, again, another 13-2 scoreline.
Yep.
It's the way they're losing some maps that shows like maybe we were right to doubt what you were going to have here with players because we can all agree, give him more time. He's just come in, all this stuff. But like now I'm kind of, where am I at with these guys? Where do I think they can go? Because we praised them, we didn't praise them, we didn't understand how they're going to use the system, and now look what we got.
Yeah, I think unfortunately they are going to struggle this year. I think it's. I just.
You're calling it now for the whole year, even with more time?
I unfortunately I hate to say it, but I kind of am,
Okay.
and I think
Why
the
would you
re-
say that though? Because I thought maybe with some more time they would have a chance.
I think the reason being is like some other teams I can give more time, but they're in a different kind of bracket where
Mm-hmm.
the teams that they are chasing comparably to the teams that Mongols are chasing are very very different levels.
Yeah.
So I'm just like trying
So
to.
Mongols being an elite team.
So for me, it's like, okay, Mongols, are they gonna get back? And that's like challenging for top one. They're top three in the world. They're in that at
Yeah.
least top five vicinity. That's where I'm putting the expectation for the Mongols in
Mm-hmm.
this conversation. Whilst for I don't know, a liquid, it's more of a top 15 to top eight to like that kind of bracket, 15 to eighth.
Yeah.
Um, So, in terms of that context, I think they're done for this year. I do not think that they will challenge for top five spots. They might have a good tournament, you know, once this
Some
year,
deep run. Yeah, yeah.
but I think it's too steep for them to all of a sudden pick up this player, rebrand him into the new Sensu, and all of a sudden they're top one again. I don't think it's that easy. I think one of those pieces, like the whole machinery, kind of falls apart to some
Mm-hmm.
degree, and you kind of have to use this like tape to kind of mesh it on. And I'm sure that's what they're trying to do, but eventually it's going to just make you fall even deeper. So to some degree they have to take a step back and just rebuild the process with everyone.
Yeah.
um and that will take time. That will take like 3 to 4 months. They kind of have to treat it as a new team ish. Otherwise I actually see it as something that will like fall like a house of cards much faster.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you because I will say that I feel like during the controllers era, that time, there was no
Yeah.
pressure, no expectations. Yeah, it was a different way they could play game, more risk taking, how they were approaching situations. Their system, they believed them just slotting him in, making him feel confident. Yeah. And also, he was an older player to feel that confidence in the games. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he didn't have the same kind of maybe mental problem, not mental problem, but like a mental block in some moments. But with Cobra Zero, it's like this is the player we wanted you to have. This is the player that you expected to do well with. Now they're not instantly going to get the fast results, but I don't think it's going to be maybe as bad as you said. I think they can still challenge in that top 10 to top five. And I just think with some more time, I still believe in what they can put together as these pieces. Um, I just think it's going to take longer to get Cobra Zero comfortable and them all handling now still like the same expectations.
I'd be
That's just my take on
surprised
it.
if the Mongols would chase down and reach a top five that includes Vitality, Furia, Falcons, Mouse, and Spirit,
Hmm.
with the addition of Paravision, uh, Aurora with Anubis back, and a G2. I think that these teams will be ahead of the Mongols for this year.
Okay. Well, let's see. Let's wait and see.
Yeah.
But you mentioned another team just there that we have to touch on next, Paravision. You actually had Paravision going to playoffs, which I didn't think was going to be possible. I wasn't that hyped on the Blast Bounty run. And I'll just give you my take on it. It's not like I think your take was bad because they won Blast Bounty. You can for sure say that that's a team that can make to playoffs. But I feel like at these big events where it is a Krakow, Cologne, the majors, it's the same thing. They can go so far, but then also some of that inexperience, some of that feeling the pressure, some of that, players not showing up in the right moments comes in for them. And I just personally knew that they would get past the first stage. I didn't expect them to be going out in last place, by the way. I thought they would get a win in stage two. I thought they would win Astralis, but I think still they've got a hurdle to overcome as a team, as a very young team, um, before we can see them being like a regular playoff making team. It's an exciting team. It's a fun team to watch. Um, Obviously, we praise Dastan and James so much in it, but the younger players are getting up on their ways as well now. But they still, for me, it's not like a team that I expect to see in playoffs.
I I still think that they will make plenty of, like, I don't know how to phrase this, but heads roll or something this year. I mean, you can look at the results. They didn't play badly. I mean, they could have 2-0'd a Navi. It's a 13-11 on Dust 2. It's a 16-19 win on Anubis on that map. You look at the Astralis one, Overpass, 13-11, 16-13. They are still making it close. They're making it very competitive, the games that they are playing. They're not
Yeah.
falling off, like they are not at all in the game. I think they definitely are going to have their struggles with people looking at them more, trying to figure them out, and it's a new kind of experience for a lot of these young players to get a test and taste of being anti-stratted and people knowing what your kind of patterns are as people on
Hmm.
the server. I understand that, but I still think that they are unique enough for some of these teams to not being able to find the answer, even though um, other teams will.
Yeah. I'm not anyway down and out on them, but like this performance doesn't surprise me in some ways. Like I'm not going, oh
I'm
wow,
not
like this is such
surprised
a
either,
huge shock. Yeah.
but just at the same essence that I, you know, have picked Foot, or like, you know, this is initial mashups. Navi, Paravision, both are shaky. For me, it was a 50-50 game, you know?
Okay.
It was.
Okay. Okay. I'll let you say that.
Yeah.
I don't
I
need to
mean,
comment on
I
that.
think it was.
I'm not biting to your bait. I'm not biting on that at all. Um, we can go from Paravision though to BC game. So they end in 13th to 16th place, losing to Vitality and FaZe. Obviously, no shame in Vitality losing to them. Obviously, the big story of that whole game was just simple Zywoo, simple Zywoo, simple Zywoo. Yeah. They even did like the head-to-head interview with the guys and stuff. It was like a videos being made, content. You've got the two of the biggest names, not obviously Donkey's also included now, but two of the biggest names, the bigger names in Counter-Strike, finally going back to back against each other again after so long. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Simple still does some simple things, but I mean, this is where you can see the gap. The gap was so big. Like, this is where you look and you just think, it didn't matter what BC game tried. They can tell themselves that like the game on Dust 2 was competitive, yeah, and they had chances. But I'm gonna say I never felt like Vitality were out of control in this game. You see
No.
the clips of like Simple talking to his teammates and like checking out a game as well.
Was it the one I saw one clip where Simple missed his Molotov window and then flamed crazy for not planting safe in a like a 2v3 round on B side?
Oh no,
I saw that
I didn't
clip.
see that one. I didn't see that one. I saw
Okay.
the one where he was sat there like this, yeah, and he was like not doing too much, and he was like frustrated, and then like they were fist bumping, and he didn't. His fist bump was like this, you know,
Yeah.
like just to the side. There was not, and it's like Muteriz made a crazy clutch, and they should have hyped him up. They should have given him some confidence. So the vibes felt a bit dead at times, but obviously this is a highly competitive person. You know, some people are not going to be the vibes guys of the team. That's what they got Taz to also help out with and make sure things are on track. But I still think that this performance, like where do they end in 13th to 16th? Yeah, 13th to 13th,
Yep.
16th. I still think that's a respectable run for a team that people didn't have even maybe making out the first stage. I had them making out the first stage. I predicted it. But I mean, a lot of
No,
people
it's
didn't have them making out.
100%. I think they did their job. I think they went here and I mean the only real objective for BC Games was to either gain a few VRS ranks or stay on the same level
Hmm.
by not losing both games. And I mean, they achieved that. They won the points they needed to stay relevant, to be able to be in this position again,
Yep.
to qualify. And that's, I mean, why they bought the core from Saw, why they assembled this team in the first place. So I
Yeah.
think step one in the process for them is completed. So I think it's a good job on them.
Definitely. Then we see obviously Simple go up against FaZe. Remember the FaZe opted to have Brokey back, not keeping Simple, just as another. So it was storyline games for Simple, by the way. There was a lot they had to deal with, and
Yeah,
they lose Dust 2 as the pick of BC game. They then win Nuke. Now, when I saw the Nuke win, I did. So I was asleep after the first game. Yeah, I thought BC game were done for, and then my eyes were woken up, and I said, "Okay, we got a game on our hand." And Ancient, it was not maybe closer than what the scoreline says. It was a little bit closer. There was almost that 1v4 from Simple.
but
Did you
don't you
see it? Where
think it's
like,
embarrassing that FaZe pick Nuke and lose 13-6 when they converted Pistol to 3-0?
yeah, it's kind of rough. You had the game in your hands.
You start with a 3-0 on T side. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine that you struggle on T side, but I
Well,
think
we also
it's
we also say how good Carrigan is. You know, he should be doing better than that with all these pieces he has right now. Like the thing is, I'll come on to phase later because I don't want to jump
yeah,
the gun. I'll still stick PC game. But then obviously when they got to Ancient, did you see that like almost 1v4 and how both Brokey and Simple were trying to like read each other and they basically waited like both in cave. Like Simple's cave entrance just waiting and Brokey's like towards the tucked in bit and they're just looking, waiting to make a decision, see what happens. And they both just waited time. Simple goes forward, Brokey just finishes him off at the end, but it was almost like an incredible 1v4 from Simple. It could have been
I
like, so there were some
see
moments in there.
right now.
Yeah. There were some good moments in there. It was nice to see Brokey have a good game overall. Like I'll say that was a positive at least because I was still not sold on him completely.
Simple got soul red, man.
Hmm?
Simple got soul red.
Yeah, but they both kind of read each other, right? But like Brokey just never
Yeah.
went for it. Yeah, so it
No,
was
but
it was
I
good in
mean,
that
Brokey
sense.
wins the time.
Yeah,
It's good.
completely. But like we're saying, BC game, this was still positive. Yeah, considering expectations, considering how bad their online games will be, putting them
100%.
on land, this is not too bad. I'm just excited to see what they can do going into future tournaments and looking at that.
Yep.
Uh, Next one, NRG, the boys you played Face It with. Honestly, yeah, beating
Not
Bait, not
bad.
too bad. Beating Astralis, pretty good. Yeah. Losing to Mouse, no shame in that. Taking a map off Falcons, yeah, is impressive. Is impressive. You may have got
Yeah.
dumpstered on your pick, but like, did you see any of this game?
No, I didn't actually catch this one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I wanted to look back at it just because I had the little story
Yeah,
of
you face it times.
face it with them. But I mean, I'm not like it's a weird one because I feel like NRG they played really well this entire tournament. I think even
Mhm.
in the mouse game there were moments where they could have gotten control, you know, of the map and the match. If you look at you know, they obviously their CT side was struggling on Dust 2. They only got 2 rounds picked up. I think one of them was a clip from Nitro where he just kind of pushes them, maybe. Either way, it's a game where they could have taken better control. They had a chance to win.
Yeah.
Normally, we don't see, you know, a mouse team have that much success on the T side. That's where they struggle, and their energy couldn't capitalize a little bit on that against them. But they could have easily won us too. An ancient, you know, kind of a yeah, reverse story. It's the normal mouse back. They're very, very solid on the CT sides. NRG just couldn't get the T side rolling. But picking up 9 rounds on both maps and being in a situation where it's scary for a top team like Mouse,
Mm.
um, I think still is pretty good. It's good. It's great even to some extent because of where NRG is kind of at or how you view them.
Well, this is another thing about NRG now. Imagine if Nitro was there for the major. They could have easily made stage two. Like what I'm
Yeah.
seeing is like Daps obviously had to fill in. Nitro's having a baby. It's just kind of, it's very important, family life. But I mean, it was the kind of what if moment now. And at least they didn't fall off and they're still competing with it. This is what's positive. So I'm not going to jump the gun on them. I'm not going to say like there's going to be wow moments from this team. But my eyes are open to their next games. Like I am interested to see what might happen to them in the future, what they might be able to do,
Yep.
I think it could get very interesting. Next from here, Foot, who we keep talking about very positively. Foot is an exciting team to watch, man. They start off beating Furia, 3 maps against G2, 3 maps against Astralis. I do feel like Astralis is a team I would put them above, personally. But I don't
And
know. Like,
they're in
again, I
the
didn't see
same
this.
kind of ranking.
Same category? Okay.
I mean,
This Ryu guy, very good. I don't know how
yep.
well he played in these games, but Ryu on Astralis is very good. But Foot for me is like between Laux, Jugs, Demon. These guys can all have pop-off games. Even by the way, Symmetry, however you want to say his name, he definitely played better here than he did at Bounty as well, which is
No, I
impressive
think
considering it was his LAN.
their individuals look really, really sharp, and obviously they've made kind of a meteor, meteoric rise, meteoric.
Meteoric Rise, yeah.
Yep, something along those lines, rise.
Meteoric. You got it.
And I think like it's kind of hard to just keep that going. I think eventually you're gonna hit some walls, and they're making things competitive. They are
Hmm.
doing really, really well against every single team. They just need to keep grinding. We just need to see more of them. They're
It's
super
how
exciting. The
long
only thing I'm scared about is, you know, this is a team that, depending on what happens, is a great farmer team for a lot of these kind of
that was my big thing.
teams
Yep.
that,
Yep.
you know, like Liquid doesn't find the success they need. Okay, let's look at Foot. What individuals can we grab and kind of make our team work again? So they're in that space right now for
Hmm.
me where if people are going to scout the next talent for a big team, they are
Yeah.
the ones you're looking at.
But they didn't sell their core. Foot is a real football organization from Turkey. Yeah. I don't think they need to sell off players unless obviously the players want to leave. And
I
they
mean,
seem to
that's the
be a
problem.
close
If the
team.
player wants,
Yeah, but it
which they
seems to
will,
be like they're close together.
yeah,
A lot of them, other than Louts, came up together in Navi Junior. Yeah. They've been
yeah,
from this journey together. They're as long as that can still work. And by the way, I think Coolio deserves a lot of credit as coach
yep,
because he's really trying to level up these
agreed.
young guys. Um, So right now, I if they can survive this year without changes, they can be destined for some good things. Because Navi really cooked with this team. Navi did great things with this team, being able to put this together more
I
successfully.
don't think they will survive the year without someone getting stolen.
You think someone will get stolen after Clone Major
I think
transfer window?
I think Phase is one team.
Yep.
I think Liquid is another. I think if there is going to be kind of a swap after the first period, like let's say half year, where Mouse could be a potential, where they kind of look at some of these players, depending on what happens, right? Who gets what?
Yeah.
Um, but these are Navi as well. Is another team that I would like. Okay, these are teams that I could see within 6 months steal a player from Foot.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I don't want to see it. I hope that they can last. Hope that they can stick it out. I want to see this team, same team for the year. That would be the ideal situation. Just
I'll
because
be
I
very surprised.
I get it, but like breaking up that team would ruin a lot of the work for the future for them. And sticking sometimes together when you've got
Welcome
just
to
the right
esports,
pieces.
baby.
No, I know we've been this a million times, but it's like this is one of those teams I don't want to see them touched. I want to see them be able to just stay and do okay, you know.
Yeah.
Then we're going to come on to I'm going to call this a Navi disappointment. I'm not going to call it a failure like it was in Blast Bounty. I know you. I already joked and said like good game from Navi against Paravision, but they could have lost that series for sure.
I mean, you're probably looking at the Dust too, or against Spirit mostly.
Dude, it's not even just that though. It's like you should have closed it out on Mirage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is a Navi who have been playing against Spirit and had struggles against Spirit now for like 2 years. Yeah. It's always been a tough
It's
team for
something
them.
ridiculous, like the matchup itself, that we used to call like a rivalry matchup, or
It's
we
not a
still
rivalry.
do to
not,
some
not
degree, but
anymore.
we still do it like a talent desk, like this is a,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
derby of some sense, or whatever you want to call it. It's like 11 to something to Spirit, like 11-2 in the past
In maps, it's
year.
21 wins to 8 wins of Navi. And that goes all the
Yeah,
way
it's
back
like
to
it's
Katowice
like
2024.
ridiculously one-sided.
Yep. Yep. Spirit and Hallie and I don't know, it doesn't matter who's IGLing. They've worked out how to deal with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
How to deal with Blade's system. They're calling like this isn't a problem team for them. And then they come up against the Furia, who, by the way, Furia is not in a good shape.
No, they
And they
look
lose
terrible.
Mirage even worse. Then they win Inferno, and then they get lost. Their Dust 2 looked crap this event. Navi's Dust 2 was crap. And this, by the way, wasn't even like bit underperforming or anything like that. We weren't maybe getting the same wonderfuls who was at the major,
Yeah.
but these games hurt me. As a Navi fan, these games are like because I remember I stood here and said, no changes. I'm happy to see Navi make no changes. And now I'm thinking, do I regret saying that? Like, do I actually want changes?
I mean, yeah. It's kind of hard to digest it because Fury is not in great shape, and obviously Navi isn't either.
Yeah.
Um, there, I don't
You
know.
see? You see?
Navi is in a weird bracket for me. I don't know how they are for you, but Navi is in the same bracket as Face. Um, not in terms of like how good they are, just in the
Yeah.
bracket of they played the major, they did reasonably well, probably saw some progress even at that tournament where, they obviously fumbled a win against Face they probably should have had, um, to reach a grand final of the major. And that's probably how they review that entire spectacle, is that
Hmm.
they should have been in the grand final and had a chance to win the major.
Yeah.
And we look at
Yeah.
them play now, and they don't even look close to being on that level. And I'll say the same about FaZe. They don't look
Oh,
close to
definitely not.
being
Yeah.
on that level. And right now, they're in that space where that's why I look at Foot as a team and say, they're probably having some eyes on from these kinds of teams because they can be a
Yeah.
quick fix to reset the entire
Ooh.
project.
Wait, you didn't say some foot players going to Navi because say this. Imagine, I don't know if this is this
I
again. I'm just
mentioned
guessing.
Navi.
Oh, sorry, I'm half asleep. I've been awake since 3 in the morning today, and it's already
I
now
think I did.
midnight 25. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But imagine if Navi have a buyback clause.
Yeah.
Imagine if there's a buyback clause in there to bring some of them players back with Makazi. Ooh, ooh, that could shake things up.
Would you be happy
I'll,
then?
yeah, happier, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'll try and find out some information about that. I'll try to take a look at it. Next team to look at 3D Max. You know what, with 3D Max, every time I
Eternal
give up on
confusion.
them, yeah, every time I give up on them, every time
They're
I'm
my
like, this
they're
team,
they're the new VP.
this is a great way to describe them. So look at this. They beat FUT, which was crazy for them to beat FUT. Yeah, I'll take that as a win. Then they beat BC Game. Cool. Then they beat FaZe. By the way, they played a lot against FaZe. And I always say 3D Max's way of playing is so standardized that it like feeds into a FaZe team or a Carrigan team. You know how to play against it. You just overpower them, no problems. Yeah. But there's a caveat with this one because normally, pretty much every game except one series that they've played against each other in EPL, FaZe have won always. Yeah. FaZe have been able to handle this team over and over again. It's always been in favor of FaZe. But this one that they win, there was a little thing with a computer problem that Twist was having, admin rushing him to do something, he said. I wasn't at the event. I can't confirm or deny any of this, just what Twist posted. But Twist had a 0.50 rating event map. Sorry, series, 2 maps, losing 3D Max. I'm not going to say that's the reason, but like there was something that went on that wasn't maybe normal within all of this.
I still
But it,
thought that 3D Max would win this game
yeah, no, I know
because
you predicted him.
face to me is just oh like
Yeah, but okay, they finally beat FaZe. Yeah. So even if I ignore the result against FaZe, they play Vitality, they don't stand a chance. They play Falcons, they don't stand a chance. And against the very elite teams, 3D Max isn't there.
yeah.
3D Max is definitely not there. They never have been. They are going to struggle there. But I'm not going to be pulled back in by some of these. They just beat FUT, BC Game, and FaZe. Still not going to be like a wow team for me.
No.
Can you pinpoint like what you think maybe might be missing for them? Because they've tried everything now. We've had the Maca thing, we've had the Gravity now, IGL.
I mean I mean it's simple. It's their individuals are not good enough.
Mm,
Like it's not that they are bad. I think all of these individuals are great Counter-Strike players to their own right. But when you are going up against teams that have Monesi, Nico, Kiyosuke, and you look at 3D Max, who are you? Who am I comparing them to? Like,
yeah,
which player am I putting against? Am I putting Maka versus Monesi? Who's gonna win that duel? But like, is there any player on that list that you would pick
not even
over any
close.
on the Falcons? Like,
Not even
there's a
IGL.
degree of skill that is, you know, watchable, tangible. We can see it. We can
Yep.
look at the stats. All of these things. There's there. I think 3D Max have an interesting way of approaching Counter Strike, and it works for them and these individuals. But how much more? It's like you have you know when your toothpaste tube is empty and you just
Yeah.
try to roll out the last bit. How much more is left,
Yeah,
out of
yeah, yeah.
this
What's
3D
left in the
Max
tank?
toothpaste tube, So
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. They
Could
against
you
the
see
top
them
teams
breaking top 10 in the world?
breaking, they can definitely get up there with a good tournament win. That's easy. Or like a good
I guess
tournament placing, and they
getting
have
there
that
and
in them.
staying there. Getting there and
No,
staying there.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's where I can't see it. So they're just going to be a team that can fight it, and then they're kind of gatekeeping the other teams below them.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. All right, from 3D Max, FaZe. Oh, where do we begin with Phase Devil Walk? So there was a time many years ago now that Mouse was considered baby phase, budget phase, whatever you want to call them. And they like, dude, this is crazy.
This is just Ankh
13.5,
Mouse now.
13.6. Yeah, like Mouse are just, what do they say? Mogging them. That's what you gave me the word. Mogging phase. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this shows me that major magic really is just major magic when it's phase. Like you can't defend this anymore. We can't even try and say like, oh yeah, that positive magic at the major is gonna take us into the next part of the year. No. Like we're really clutching at straws. We're really hoping for something to happen.
It's it's a weird one because there's still like HLTV ranking, ranked number 6 in the world,
Mm-hmm.
VRS ranked number 9 in the world. If I look at what they are producing on the server, this is like a scary kind of thought. It's like if you go down the list, how many teams can we say actually play better CS than FaZe right now?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Vitality, obviously Furia,
Yep.
obviously Falcon, Spirit,
Yep.
Mouse. I would
Yep.
say Paravision.
Yep.
I would say Aurora. I would say
Mm-hmm.
Navi. I would say
Yep.
G2. I would say Astralis. Mongols, I
Astralis
don't know.
better.
I would say Astralis, yes. I would
Okay.
say 3D Max. I would even say Liquid. And I would say Foot.
Mm. I like foot a lot. I wouldn't say foot or three
I think there's about
or liquid.
15 teams right now in the world that plays better than FaZe.
I think what FaZe don't have anymore is they don't have that scare factor. FaZe to me, when they go into games before, even if they're down 10-2, 9-3, there was a belief that they could come back, and the other team also knew they could come back. So when those rounds started to happen against them, the other team's like, "Oh no, no, like I can't," it's FaZe, but they don't have that scariness anymore.
I
It's
think
not a
teams
scary
look
team
at
to play.
FaZe right now. If every tournament was a blast bounty, whoever
Mm,
gets to pick first picks FaZe. Most amount of VRS points for the least amount of CS you have to play. Like in
yeah.
this list. I that's how I view it. It's a blessing to get FaZe right now.
Could this be, if it continues like this? I know it's the very beginning of the year. Could this be the final year before Carrigan goes to coaching?
I mean, it could very well be. But it's up to him. It's not.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how long does they keep? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, we should change Carrigan, change Carrigan." I'm not on the thing of like change Carrigan because I believe he can make pieces work. But it feels like the pieces he have right now, even he may believe in it, sometimes just doesn't work.
Yeah, I think one big problem is that they in the past have been so overwhelmingly better skilled than their opponents to some
Mm-hmm.
degree that they haven't even always needed to be excellent at calling, excellent at. They could just default their way into things very well with
Yeah.
good communication and micro calling in the mid round. Right now, to play that style for them feels like a liability, and that's why we see Carrigan also have to kind of switch the approach a little bit and and
Mm-hmm.
and call and kind of run the game a lot more because they don't have that belief even in themselves to some degree. Um, a- and it's a slippery slope for me. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see how they can do at future events. The 9th to 12th is kind of rough after how well you did in the major, especially considering this was on LAN again as well.
Yeah,
Next, almost making the playoffs, but not quite. Astralis. They obviously went through the first stage, beating Pain, lost to NRG. That was the worrying sign. Despite how good we were praising NRG, it is a worrying sign if you're comparing Astralis versus NRG. Then they beat Game Legion, they make it through. They lose the Spirit opening game. I caught the Spirit game. That was at least exciting on the Dust 2 one. I feel like definitely Astralis should have had that one. Like there were so many good chances for them there. Then they beat Paravision, they beat Foot, but it's three maps, and they go three maps to Furia, and they can't quite make it work. Despite like Furia's overpass is now no longer what it was at last year, and obviously Astralis do enjoy a bit of overpass. But I
Yeah,
mean, I thought it was going to be 2-0 to Astralis at one point. I really thought they were going to get Mirage as well.
they played great. Like it's uh, like if you look at how new this project is, the teams they're
Hmm.
beating, how well they are playing, the eye test, everything, it looks like they have belief in the system that Huxley is, running, and the space of Rio, and they just
Yeah,
sync very well. They look very in sync when they're playing. Look like a real team. They have an understanding of what they want to achieve on the server, something that was completely missing and gone from when they had Device and Magisk.
yes,
Um, and I mean, you have to sing their praises. They were battling against the best teams in this world right now, and they were making every single game competitive. I mean,
yeah,
every single time they played, they looked like at some point, if they just won one crucial round, it could have swung in their favor. Even
yeah,
against Spirit, even against Furia now. I mean, I'm nothing but impressed. I thought it would take much longer to integrate this and get everything going. But it
yep.
seems like, we've seen a revitalization of the other players as well. In Jubby starting to have, some of his old self back, producing really, really high quality CS rounds. Stare obviously been really good as well. But the new boys
He can
also,
do anything.
coming in, and they're doing so good. Like
Ryu, Ryu.
Rio
Mm.
on that entry has been, incredible for them. And he's fearless. You can see it in him when he's playing. I think they got a great, great squad, and I'm excited to see Astralis. I did not expect them to do this well.
Yeah, they beat my expectations as well. And this is still very early days. Fuzi has had great moments at the same time. Like he's got big shoes to fill. The last AWP they had was Device, and then there's now Fuzi. Second time he's been around this whole thing.
Fuse has been better
And
than Device was last year.
yes, by far. By far. It's not even close. Not even close. And then our last team to look at Devilwalk, who won't be making it to playoffs. This one's wild. Second place, a Blast Bounty with a standing into not making Krakow playoffs. It's Falcons. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Watching that game was painful. Losing both games in overtime. Now, people can sit there. If you're a Falcons fan, you can sit there and go, oh, it was close. Like, it could have gone either way. Blah, blah, blah. Bro, Falcons had every opportunity to close that game and win both maps.
I mean,
Getting advantages,
should we
playing
even
well.
start there? Like, first of all, against Aurora, I mean, they probably don't play
Hmm.
Overpass Falcons at all, which is why Aurora get a free map of Anubis right
Yep.
on the get go. It's probably a really bad matchup for Falcons in general, because I mean, Aurora spent an entire season trying to find another map they can play. Uh, so they've kind of last year's kind of been like a grind for them just to get more maps to find
Hmm.
ways to win games, and it hasn't really worked out for them. But with the addition of Anubis, Aurora is a
Trump
fucking
card.
scary team. They're a
Yeah.
scary team to play because they are so good on this map. Like, and then the grind that they had from the past year, they can actually get two chances now to get another W.
Yep.
Um, so that makes them super scary. I think it's fine that they lose against Aurora if they're forced to bring in Anubis in the map pool. But
Hmm.
overall, they should be beating a team like Aurora. Um, and then, obviously, then it becomes a little bit more crazy because they're losing a map and making it close against NRG.
Yeah. I thought they were going to lose the series. I truly believe they were going to lose the
Yeah,
series.
people were thinking that, and it
Moments
was
on Dust
looking
2,
like that at some
I
point.
was like, what am I watching? Like, this can't be Falcons.
And obviously some of their individuals stepped up and eventually they made it through.
Mhm.
um I think the only game they had full control over in this entire bracket was against 3D Max, which is a team that is much lower than them.
Yeah.
um so they definitely looked shaky. And against Mouse Sports, if we deep dive into that match, i I will just, for context, any
Mhm.
Counter-Strike enjoyer, let's say Inferno, you
Yep.
have a CT half 7-5, you win T pistol 8-5. Dust 2, you win 7-5 T side, win pistol 8-5. That's what they were working with. Huge, like this is huge leads
Yeah.
to have going into halftime, where they pick up the pistol, but from here something happens with Falcons when things are on the line. We see Monacy, like, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. There's so many clips you can go on this match page, and like, there's like, oh, Falcons lose another 2v5, 3v5. Um, I think it was a 2v5 on Dust 2. They
Mhm.
lost I think it was the very last round in regular time. It was 12-11. Kioske is window up, and they're doing a B split
Oh,
mouse into
yeah, he
them.
got 2 kills, which
He
is
gets two
great.
kills. They get
Yeah, and it's the
another
3rd one he tries.
third one. I think Nico is in car, Kyosuke up window, and I think it's Kiksan who is close tunnels. But tunnels is ish smoked, uh,
Mhm.
at least. But they know position of the tunnel guy, and they know the position of the guy outside B.
Yeah.
And they, from a 5v2, where only I think Kiksan had taken damage in the team, they lose that situation. And
Mhm.
it's one of those things where we could go into Skybox and just run it and just be like, ah,
Yeah. It was another one of those rounds.
because it ends up in a
Dude,
like triple bring back for Jimpat and I think Spinks, who comes from tunnels. They go into B. Monacy goes in mid. We have who is it left? There's, well, someone is tunnels. Either way, Monacy picks up a molly. He insta peeks into door, dies to the car guy.
oh, Testes is coming through. Testes is coming through.
Tesses is coming. Yes, Tesses is coming through tunnels. It just ends up like two 1v1s. Jimpat ends up clutching from a
But
1v2. But it
wouldn't
just, like, so many off sync moments happen in these fast paced kind of
but doesn't this
scenarios
come
where they
down to
just
you
have the map. They have it.
but doesn't this come down to you as like the team play is still not there for Falcons? People say it's the choking, people say it's the pressure, but like if I compare this game, the team play won it for Mouse, you know? Playing off each other, making the right decisions, some reads in there obviously as well. The fumbles of like Falcons had so many advantages, the clutches as well, like
I mean, there's plenty to talk about. This situation is just, it should never happen. I mean, you have everything under control, and especially when you get those entries so early, you know where they are, and three
mhm,
of them die in within a second to make it a 2v2 and lose it. I mean,
yeah,
even the fact that, you have people in C2 who can spam door if he even tries to enter it. And Nico is a bit unlucky, dinks impact and gets instad. But even he could have just waited and waited and waited for Kioske's contact in window again.
yeah.
Um, Kioske didn't need to rush out window and just die, missing his op
Yeah,
shot and being like
it was
completely
a
in the
crazy
open.
one.
He
But
could have
he
just,
went to refrag, but it was like a delayed refrag, you know? So he
yeah,
got
yeah,
2
it was
great
like,
kills and he saw his teammate die, so he thought he would go for it. Yimfat was way steps ahead of him.
yeah, yeah. And it just looked really awkward. I
Mhm.
understand why all of these things happen, but these are the moments that they hate themselves for, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, that has happened continuously over tournaments and tournaments, and I'm wondering how much these moments are starting to weigh on them, where it almost
We've been
makes
here
it
before.
worse and worse every single time.
And also, like, Zonic can't keep getting away with this, right? I love him as a person when I talk to him, and I respect him for the history he has in the game and the amazing work he's done as a coach. He's not to blame for these situations, but it has been now like you've got him, you've got Lars, they're working with the team, they're working with the players, and they've been stuck in these situations, and we keep seeing these same kind of mistakes. Where is someone not listening? Where is someone not agreeing on this? Or like, I'm never going to blame the coach directly for like all of these problems, but there's some responsibility that needs to be taken at this point because this has been multiple years now
I
with all the
think
lineups, all the players he's given.
the biggest responsibility I would put on Sonic is for, obviously, I think that Falcons have a team of individuals that should be able to not even be put in that position in the first place. They shouldn't be
Yeah.
12-11 fighting in overtimes, even against a team like Mouse. Even though I
Hmm.
think Mouse is a great team, they should be doing better from the very get go. Now,
Yeah.
in the situation that we discuss, I think it comes down a lot to the players themselves. It's not something you can just say, hey man, don't throw. And all
Yeah,
of a
but it
sudden,
keeps happening.
it does keep
We've
happening.
been here.
But this is situations that if you would ask every single Falcons player what to do,
Mhm.
if you would video review, they would all know the answer and they would all point out the correct mistakes and what they should have done. It's information they already have, but they can't process in that specific scenario. Um,
But they're not
so
learning from it. Yeah. So even if you're watching it on demo review, even if you're going over it, it's the fumbles again and again.
yeah,
Like
and
there
they'll
was so
probably
many
keep
rounds I've
happening.
watched.
The only solution is just don't put yourself in that fucking position. Be more dominant from the start. Make sure that the entire game plan and what you bring out on the server do not
Mhm.
put you in that situation.
I don't think I've watched a team more where I see, like I watch the beginning of the round, stuff happens, and I say, oh, they've got this round, and then I might go, I don't know,
I
I
mean,
go and pick up a
Falcons,
drink. No,
to be
I
fair,
go and
like
pick up a
every single
drink.
round they can lose it.
Yeah, but I'm saying they put themselves in a position where it's like they can win the round, yeah, and they're in a good spot. I could just turn around, look at my phone, get a drink, and then they somehow lost it. And I go, "What the hell? How did you guys lose that? Like, how did this
Yeah.
happen? How did we find it?" And that's the problem. And this one's going to hurt for them. This one, they know it's not good enough. And trust me, there's going to be pressures from Falcons as an organization onto these guys eventually. And Donick needs to find a way of everyone agreeing on these protocols of what happens and what communication is being worked on or what read it is or who's making the decision making. Because this has been a curse of like a lot of Nico career. This has been obviously Munnessey's been with him alongside it, but new players, star players, good position players, good role player, and you're still having it.
Yeah. I mean, what can I say? It's
It's
terrible.
crazy.
It hurts to
Yeah.
watch, and I can't even, like, I'm not a huge Falcons fans by any degree, but it hurts for me, so I can't even imagine what it does
Yeah.
for the hardcore fans and followers of Falcons team.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our review of everything that's happened so far. Let's get on to our preview. We're going into the playoffs. We're going into the Krakow Arena. It's called the Toron Arena, I believe it is. How many
Yep.
seats does this have? Krakow, Toron Arena, seats. I want to find out how many people they're rocking with.
Uh,
So
uh,
it
uh.
is the largest one in Poland. Capacity is up to 22,000. Um,
Let's
So that's like
see.
using floor seats as well. I reckon it might have like 18 for this, I guess. I'll try to find out for when we do the next episode. But I'm expecting something good. I'd love if ESL did a 360 stage. They're not known for that. It's kind of not what they go for. But I would love if that because that's what we had for the Krakow Major back in 2017. So that'd be
Yep.
nice to see. By the way, this is another thing actually. Format. We spoke about it already. 6 teams to one of the most prestigious tournaments of the whole year going to playoffs is not good enough. It should be 8 teams. Yeah. For the
But it's also
fans, for the
like you're
competitive.
grinding what? I'm sitting here, I'm watching 8 days in a row for the playoff to be
Mhm.
6 teams. I don't know. It feels
Yeah,
weird that there's so much CS to catch up on, and then the end part is like this small.
yeah. And then on top of that, I'm not going to use I'm not defending Falcons as well, but they played 2 games today. They played 3D Max at the beginning of the day, had to wait until the end of the day and play Mouse. Yeah. This we should be past this now in esports in CS, where we need to play 2 best of 3s in a day. 1 best of 3 a day. There must be a way to work this out. I know the calendar's tight, but ESL has a lot of the space on the calendar. It would just be better for the competition if it's only 1 best of 3 a day and we get 8 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, I
Especially if you
agree.
get
I
crackouts and
hate six
clones.
man. I think it's absolutely
Yeah, but
ridiculous.
do you not agree on the like only 1 best of 3 a day?
But I don't care about that. To be fair, I don't give a shit. I think
I
it's
think it's better. I think
I
it's
yeah
better if you just have one
I
best of 3 a day.
personally I think it's better. Uh, but I mean I come also from an era where we played 8 best of 3s a day in a
Yeah,
tournament,
but
and it's like unlucky man, you're out on the eighth best of 3. So
I know,
it's
but we've moved on past that now. We're not in those times.
we've moved past that. I know, but
Yeah.
I'm a little bit wishy washy on that. I don't really. I wouldn't mind if I got to play, had the privilege to play 2 best of 3s. The
Hmm.
only thing that for me is important is that if you do end up playing 2 best of 3s, just let us have a fucking meal and pee and shit, and
I think
then
they
I can
definitely have
play.
that. There's more than enough time.
But it shouldn't be too much time either. It can't
Hmm.
be play my best of 3 in the morning, wait 5 hours, and then play my best of 3. That doesn't work.
But they
Then
did
you're
that. They
fucking
played at one.
cooked.
They played at one. Yeah. My time.
Yeah.
So 2 your time. And then they played at 18:20, 18:10 your time. 7 hour
So
gap.
no, then I disagree. I think that's fucked. I think if you play
See?
them in a row, I think it's fine.
Yeah, see? That's where we're at. All right, but where
Yeah.
we're at with playoffs. So we have Spirit, Vitality making it through to the semi-finals. I
Yes.
predicted semi-finalist Furia Vitality. You predicted Falcon Spirit. So at least I
Yeah.
predicted teams that made it to playoffs. So I'm getting a couple of wins there. Quarterfinals, I predicted Spirit, Navi, Mouse, Falcons. I only got Mouse and Spirit in playoffs from that, not in quarters for Spirit. You predicted Paravision, Furia, Vitality, Aurora. You did have Aurora in.
Yep.
So you won on this one. You did good. And
Thank you,
looking at how the
man.
bracket is, Furia, Aurora, winner plays Spirit. And then you've got G2 Mouse, winner plays Vitality. When you look at the teams that we have here, I think I wouldn't say Aurora's a massive surprise, but it's quite a big surprise. And G2's not a surprise, but it's like not a team I would have instantly thought would be doing Krakow playoffs, you know?
No, I'll agree. To a certain extent, I think.
Because this was the first event of the year for G2 as well.
Yeah, I think for. I mean, there's holes in every single team right now. No one is stable. No one has found their correct rhythm of how to play this year.
Yeah.
There's been a new update. It changed, you know, quite a lot, even as an individual player, from how
Hmm.
responsive aiming is and things like that. That kind of shook teams up a little bit. I find it nicer. Some others find it worse.
Yeah.
So, but I think for Aurora, having Anubis is a big advantage for them. It makes them
Yeah.
relevant again. In terms of Furia, I think they look shaky as fuck. I don't know what's
Hmm.
going on. One round they look amazing. Then the next they just fall apart like nothing.
Yeah.
In terms of G2, they are and always will be, as long as they have Saw, a very consistent system based team. They
Yeah.
know their protocols, they know what they need to do. They've had enough time to kind of establish most of that into their system. Hunter's gotten more reps as an in game leader. I think they have a really solid team of individuals as well to do this with. Um, I'm not super mega surprised, but a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
if I would have picked like between a list, obviously I would put Falcons before G2, you know?
Yeah. But this is what happens when some of the favorites lose their
Yep.
opening games and it throws the whole bracket into craziness. So we'll obviously talk about the team's whole performance for the playoffs as we always do on the next episode, but we will do our predictions here. So
But you've done
quarterfinals,
a weird one, right? You've done the whole bracket
I predicted the whole
simulation.
bracket based on what I said. Yeah.
So I will do the same,
Okay. I'll run
just
you through
but
mine
I
first then,
didn't.
because I
Yeah.
already sent mine to our producer. So I picked Furia over Aurora. And I think Aurora is playing better CS, and I like what I'm seeing from Soulfly. Even if he played better in stage one than stage two, he definitely struggled more in stage two against the better teams. It's not what he's used to.
Yep.
But I do think Aurora struggle on stages. And if this is a big crowd and a big stage, I think that will play into a factor that will benefit Furia. So that's where I'm going with that one. Then there's Mouse versus G2. I'm picking Mouse. I just think Mouse' team play, their synergy, they didn't make changes even when we expected them to make changes. Things are clicking for them, and they're no longer stage chokers. Um, Spirit Furia is then what I would imagine would be happening, right? If my wins go the way I predicted, I think
Yep.
Spirit's going to win that. Then I think Vitality Mouse, and I think Vitality's going to win Mouse. And then I think Vitality's going to beat Spirit in the finals and win the whole event.
Okay.
Where are you
I
going, Mr. Devilwalk?
am going like this.
Mm-hmm.
I am going Aurora will beat Furia. I think it's their time.
Because.
I think that when I look at things, I think that Soulfly looks like a great addition. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that it's not necessarily being like incredible compared to Jota, but I think there's something different with him compared to Jota. I like the mood in the team seems to be completely refreshed, renewed. They look happy when they play. Major is making clutches and plays that looking crisp and sharp, not at all looking like maybe at the end of last year, like people are calling for his head because he cannot frag type of
Mm-hmm.
player. I think a lot of the times when I've looked at their T side, they've completely outplayed their opponents. Absolutely, like outplayed them outright. Most of the times when I've seen them lose rounds is because of either CT aggression or something has gone wrong,
Mm-hmm.
where they cannot do their end call essentially. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that Aurora is going up against a very shaky Furia. And I think
Yeah.
they can take advantage of that. I still think Furia is a favorite in
Okay.
the matchup,
You're not
but
factoring in the arena and crowd?
it's also the factor if you look at the map pool. Furia, are you going to play Ancient against Aurora because you veto Anubis, or are you vetoing Ancient to play Anubis against Aurora?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there could be a map advantage in that sense for Aurora if they play their cards right, and could essentially grind out a 2-1 win.
Okay. Next games?
Uh, Next game, it's G2 versus Mouse. I've picked Mouse. I think they looked solid. I think they still have it in them. They fumble a couple of rounds here and there, but they've had a little bit more of a clawback sense where they start winning some of these unlikely rounds where they always lost in the past.
Mm-hmm.
They've started to win, and I think that it will give them a little bit more belief,
Okay.
especially this win against Falcons. But against G2, I think Mouse is just a stronger team in general. I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna be a easy game for Mouse by any means. I think G2 still has wrenches to put in the gear, so to speak, for Mouse. But I think Mouse. So we end up with a Spirit Aurora,
Yep.
and I'll pick Spirit there. I think they themselves look a little bit shaky, a little bit up and down. There's a bit difference in the play style. Um, but I like what I see. The vibes are great. Donk is barely mad. He's got magics with the vibe machine next to him.
Yeah.
and it's all smiles on them. They're having fun, and I love seeing that. And I think that will make them dangerous going into this match in Krakow. So I think Spirit in the final, and I do think Vitality will beat Mouse.
Okay.
But I think we're gonna see a Spirit win over Vitality.
Ooh. Okay. I didn't expect you to go for that. Why? So why would you choose Spirit?
So I don't know. Maybe it's old sentimental heart, but I see the guys when they're playing, just the vibes. I think it's a different spirit. I think it's a
I don't
spirit
think they're
that
ready for that yet.
is. They
The
might
Magics.
not be, but
Mm.
this is not the greatest vitality at the end of times they're playing. This is still
Yeah.
a vitality that has holes and has shakiness. I think if the game goes in the right direction, they can definitely do it. And I think a big up for them is like if you look at, even at the major, the amount of tilting Donk did or got to, I don't think that is you know, going to be a factor in a final against Vitality. I think he's gonna enjoy his time and he's not gonna have drop in performance. He's gonna just everyone's gonna be on the same page. And Sontix has looked up and down, but great at times with his clutching ability and anchoring. So I just think that I like the mix of them. I like it, and I'm willing to bet on them just because of what I've seen on their faces.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens when we get to the end of it all. But that is
Yeah,
it for our preview and our review of everything IM Krakow so far. And only thing left to do is our Q&A. Now, before we do that, Devil, I need to do my injection. And then we
I
can
pause, stop, pause.
Yep. So as always, if you didn't know by now, when it comes to the Q&A, you can join our Discord. It's down in the description, or it's just all about cs.gg/Discord. We take questions every week and answer them on the podcast. We're not putting this behind some paywall. We're not making sure like only select people can answer. All you have to do is join the Discord, take part in the discussion, and we will answer your questions. So the first one comes from Blacks Z, like a Dragon Ball Z name. He says, do you guys think Navi have some buyback options for some of the foot players? The players look really sharp. Could see Demon or Jugs as a good replacement for Bit if he would leave the team at some point. Well, I actually touched on this. I don't know,
Great
but I
question.
think it is a very great question. It's a question I will try and find out. I mentioned this earlier in the show. And the reason I want to find out is because Navi have always been good with their contracts and smart with this stuff. But I don't know if Foot would have agreed to it. But you would still hope because obviously Navi was smart enough to let this team go. They were grinding up through the rankings so well, make the money for them. Don't want them to compete because they can't be at the same major under the same organization name. But if they raise these players up and they got a good relationship with them, Army, the head of esports, he's been so good like in terms of players just wanting to like follow him, learn from him, grow with him, that it would not surprise me if they had this option at all. Then it'd be really good for them, especially helping out Navi. And it would undo what I like in foot, but at least it'd be reunited with Makazi.
Yep. And we got another question from our regular
Expert question
Scourger,
answer. Yeah.
the only viewer that has seen the podcast live.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Came down to Budapest and saw one of the actual episodes being filmed and we were doing it with Starladder. That was epic.
Yeah. He has the question: is this perhaps the stupidest reasons to go down a map? Care to share the stupidest reasons you can remember of a team having to forfeit a map? Also, Virtus Pro looked awful in this BO1.
Best of one.
So this is a photo he posted as well of
Yeah, we need
the
to show
match
that.
page of Nemiga
Add this
versus
photo.
Virtus Pro, where
Hmm.
Virtus Pro forfeit the first map Ancient due to missing cameras for two players. And just to give you some context, pretty much every single tournament you play in Counter Strike today requires you to have a webcam so that
Yep.
either the admins can tell you to put it on, view the keyboard, whatever. You might need an overview if people are potentially thinking that you're cheating.
Well, it's
Uh,
normally this now, right? It's normally like the face camera, so I can see if you're looking at like a radar, yeah, all the time,
Yeah.
and then one from behind that shows your screen.
Yeah. So this
That's
is
the one with
a
the.
this is a normal thing. Like it's not something like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
what, who has a camera? No, everyone has a camera. If you're a CS player, you have a fucking webcam because you are forced to have one. And for them to not have cameras ready and have to forfeit a map in a tournament which they know way before
Mm-hmm.
they need to is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Does that mean
Now,
it's the stupidest reason to go down a map?
it's probably not the stupidest. I mean, I
I
mean,
can't
I
think of anything
I've
else. You would know more.
I mean, I played a mixed team. Okay, I played in a
Mm-hmm.
mixed team. I was just like, this was. Let me actually put it up. This is a Swedish mixed team that we just
Mm-hmm.
joined a tournament randomly, and we're playing. It's the WCA qualifier 2017,
You see.
and we are playing Flipside Tactics
Mm-hmm.
with Electronic Markelov, World Edit Blade, and Waylander.
Waylander.
And uh, we had to forfeit the first map because we couldn't find the fifth.
Yeah, but that's probably happened lots of times.
And
I don't think that's
we
the stupidest.
won the second map 16-12. I was calling, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was me, Sippe, Pronax, Rusty, and Brollan.
Oh, nice.
We go on train, we lose 16-13 and lose from there.
So you lost the map because of not having a fifth. Who didn't turn up?
Well, I think, if I remember correct, I think we were supposed to play with the Norwegian 1.6 player Kalle.
Oh no, Callie. Yeah.
Yeah, the Norwegian great player. I think it was like top 5 in the world at some point in 1.6. But yeah, I think he couldn't make it, and then we were scrambling for like an hour trying to find someone that we thought would be good enough, but
Yep.
no one could. They either had pracs or whatever. So yeah, they had to forfeit that map.
Well, VP is definitely the stupidest because they're playing in these tournaments all the time. They know they need these cameras, and that's it, right?
Yes,
There's no other way to do it. So yeah, that's kind of crazy.
we were just 5 buddies,
Um,
man. We were just
yeah.
5 dudes or 4 dudes trying to find a
And
fifth
yours
dude.
is a mix. Yeah, yours. By the way, yours is a
Yes.
mix. You're not signed like these are to
No,
VP
no,
and
no,
stuff like
no.
that.
With
There's nothing
zero
in
pracs,
comparison.
zero pracs, by
Yeah,
the way.
just chilling, just enjoying the game, just playing through some tournaments.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is it for episode 49 of the All About Counter-Strike podcast. Thank you very much for watching and being here as always. Don't forget, we do have the knife giveaway going on up until the end of Krakow. It'll now be 2 videos back you would need to go. We must subscribe to the channel and comment on that video. It's on the video where we have the image of the knife being given away. It's $1,000 Doppler Phase 4 knife that I'm sure people would love. So yeah, make sure you get a chance to enter into that. As always, the views, the support, the kind words, the fact that people enjoy the very different styles me and Devilwalk have and how we do the podcast, it's all massively appreciated. I can't thank everyone enough. You deal with our crazy tech problems and our different changing in locations and everything else all the time, our rants and our rambles, and you seem to be enjoying it. So we'll keep running the podcast. We'll be on episode 50 next time, 50 episodes as we get at the end of Krakow, going into just
That's
cruising poker
great,
after
by
that.
the way. That's actually
That's the
sick.
milestone. Milestone. First, I think 25 was the first one, so that was our silver. Does this make the golden? And what is it, platinum for 75? I don't know how this works. I
I
need
don't
to
know
check.
either.
Yes, it's a lot for me to try
But
and do at
you're
1
doing
10 in
like
the
the
morning.
marriage thing or what?
Yeah, marriage and episodes.
Yeah.
We're basically married. Don't tell my wife. But that's it for the episode. Anything you want to say, DW?
No, I mean, hopefully I have a great update next time and I'll be on 3.5k Elo.
3.5. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you see me on a Face It game, say hi to me. There's been lots of people who've said they've listened to the podcast. They love the stuff that we're doing. So truly appreciate that. And Yeah, I
I need to
hope you enjoyed
know
this one.
if there's any viewers right now watching who has played a game against Devil. Tell me how it was, and if you played with me, played with him, sorry, tell us how it was. I want to know in the comments. I want to see what's
I
going
hope
on.
it's not like someone that's had toxic devil walk at some point.
He's like, God, this guy's a fucking asshole. Like,
It's a
why
fucking
did I have to
cunt,
play
man.
with him? All right, well, that's it. We're done and dusted. We'll be back on the 9th of February. So, ready to rock and roll with you all. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.